A very good afternoon, everybody. Nice to have you company wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed all around the world. Welcome to a very special Saturday afternoon edition of Virtual Sim Racing of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club Variety. Zach Caban and Adam Lavis with you. And don't adjust your sets, don't touch your dials, ladies and gentlemen. You're not seeing things. This is our opening instalment of what would normally be Thursday night motorsport for Term 1 of 2026 to get what is a very big Australia Day long weekend up and away on the best possible note. Very big afternoon of sport. We'll stay across it as best we can. The Australian Open from Melbourne Park, of course. And for us here, a huge program for you, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously we were on air last night, but we're on the wrong channel. So this is a tenfold bloody catch-up that we've got coming your way this afternoon. Adam Lavis and I are here now with you for Disruptive Labs GT4, the opening 40-minute race of the campaign from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. And then we'll ramp it up and go to the Porsche Cup, which is a new look Porsche Cup for 2026 in two ways. One, we're back to the future with two splits, and B, the 992.2 makes its long-awaited debut on the GSRC platforms. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, the venue for that. And we're very excited because we're going to bring you three races from that opening round because it was a four-race program, two for each split. More on that a little bit later on. And if that's not enough, we go into overtime. So you've got your entree, you've got your main course and your dessert today. It's a triple treat because we'll have that replay from last night's GTE opener with Dan Yeaman and Liam Banks as well. So it's a huge afternoon here on the platforms of the GSRC. Strap yourself in, buckle up, hold on tight. Fill the esky and crack open a coldie and sit back and enjoy it with us. Zach Caban, Adam Lavis here with you. That's the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. That's the opening venue of 10 for the new season of Disruptive Labs GT4. In fact, Adam, if we can, let's have a look at the schedule and let everybody know where we're going and what we're doing for this new campaign. And it's very top-heavy North America, but then we go on to the Autodromo Nacional Monza in Italy, back to the United States, then to Portugal, and then, of course, to the famed Mecca that is Mount Panorama Bathurst on the 5th of March, the opening night of the AFL season, in fact. Then to the circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia, which has got a bit of a presence this season across many different championships. Then on to Alton Park, and then to the World Endurance configuration of the Nürburgring circuit in Germany, because we've got the Nordschleife in action this term, we've got the Grand Prix configuration in action this term, and the World Endurance configuration as well. So a lot to look forward to when it comes to the Nürburgring this term. We're also seeing a fair bit of Monza, which we're excited about. Long Beach for sprint racing next week. That'll end January on a very strong, positive note. The Miami International Autodrome, the new venue on the schedule, sprint racing there too. Also sprint racing from Portland, which is always a treat. And of course, you wouldn't have it any other way at Alton Park. It'd be too stale and boring if you did. Good evening to you. Good afternoon, I should say, to you, Adam Lavis. Force of habit, 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 12 o'clock on the West Coast, 5 o'clock in New Zealand. Here we go. 6 different manufacturers are part of the GT4 circuit these days in the iRacing server, mate. And a good mix of Fords, Mercedes making a bit of a resurgence, Aston Martins and Porsches on this grid, and a strong field of 29 to start the campaign.
Yeah, decent turnout. I think it was there was one or two lonely McLarens sort of down near the back, but so we did have all six on the grid, but the McLaren still needs a little bit more love. But the other ones, everyone having a good crack, and it was interesting to see because they all had their strengths and weaknesses around this track.
And it's an interesting schedule as well. Liam Banks and Matt Schmidtke are responsible for putting this championship together this term. That's what they've come up with. It's a 14-race campaign. Normally, we're bringing this to you at 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time on a Thursday night. That final week, 60 minutes around the Nürburgring, will, of course, be starting 15 minutes earlier, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. There's the grid for the opening race of the new campaign. Stephen Bull and Benny Snell. Great to see them on the grid front and centre. Locking out the front row. Jordan Malcolm, Matt Bailey from the second row. Bondi's up there on row 3 alongside Woodsy, Ryan Jones, Taylor Oakes. Ryan, of course, had a very good run on Monday night, didn't he, in Super Formula Light at least, not so much in GT3. More about that later. Adam Lavis and Dave Oliver, two familiar figures around these parts. rounding out the top 10. And, of course, Adam in that enviable position of most people knowing what's going on and then sitting here and talking about it as well, being in 2 places at once. Michael Adams, Brian Levitt from row 6, Reece Keane, Brett Bradbury from 7, Liam Haycock, Dale Sharp from 8, Andrew Franklin and Ash Stacey from 9, Kurt Normanson and Justin Cahir from 10. From 11, it's Eduardo Zamora and Shane Beaumont. From 12, Wayne Losh and Hilton Booth. From 13, Tom Pritchard and JD Dent. From 14, Pete Matson and Robert Colbreth. From 15, Guy Leach. Massive weekend, as we say. Play's been suspended on the outside courts at Melbourne Park, so let's just have a quick look at what's going on there at the moment before we get underway. Mahash and Massetti deep in the 5th set now. Massetti, love 30. He's up at the moment in the 7th game of the 5th set. He leads the 5th set 4-2. If he can get the break there, he'll serve for the match in just a moment. Yannick Sinner's in a bit of trouble. He dropped the first set 6-4, got the second set 6-3, and then is 3-4 down on Spazzieri of the United States in the 3rd set at the moment. That one going to at least 4 sets, and we'll stay across the Australian Open as best we can throughout the course of the afternoon. Let's hit the gas and get going here, folks. These guys are about to take off from their position there on the circuit, heading down towards the hairpin behind the course car. Lights not on the safety car at the moment. It'll be, of course, reporting to pit lane. Track and weather conditions, have we got that info available to us, Adam? 21 degrees the ambient and 28 on track at the moment, according to my timing screen. Dry conditions, 0% chance of rain, 90% humidity. Winds are west to northwesterly at 17 kilometres an hour, and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon local server time, although we've advanced it to July to blend in with where Australia is at the moment, observing daylight saving. Hello, Queensland. Righto, ready to rock and roll. The brand new season of the Disruptive Labs GT4. And what a season it promises to be. The defending champion not on the grid. But we'll wait and see who steps up to the plate and rises to the top of the summit at the end of this 10-week campaign. Look at the livery on Benny Snell, if you don't mind. That's my favourite so far this night, this afternoon for GT4. And we are ready to fire in Canada on the Ile Notre Dame. Let's go to work. Got to be very mindful at this venue of the runoff areas, particularly the chicane at turn 13 and 14, the final corner, where that wall of champions is. So trouble at turn 1. There it is, turn 2, 3 cars involved. Michael Adams, Dave Oliver, and a bad rejoin has also tripped up Justin Cahir. The rest of the field gets away cleanly, but by gee, there's some carnage down the back end. Liam Haycock and Guy Leach non-starters. Robert Colbreth also a non-starter. Cahir down 7, Oliver down 15, Adams down 13 positions, and Levitt down 9 already on the opening lap. But yes, be very mindful of the slowdowns around here. Be very mindful of the runoff areas, because incident points will creep in. Slowdowns, they are very, very costly. Good start from the Mustanger Stephen Ball, leading Ben Snell and Jordan Malcolm, 3 different manufacturers. Malcolm didn't get to test the whole campaign here last term, but was very strong when he was on deck. Casino straight for the first time. Ball, Snell, Malcolm, Bailey and Bond, the top 5.
And the only thing with this being a replay broadcast, I'm not sure if our little flag system on SDK is going to work to show us when people get slowdowns. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we get that. Otherwise, back to the old days of just watching it pull over.
Exactly. We don't mind a challenge. Bondi up on the outside of Paul Wood and Bailey as well. He's got Bailey around the outside. Wood under pressure from Jones. Jones on the inside. Lavis weighing into that mix. Taylor Oates and Reece Keane for company. Jones has managed to defend Paul Wood. That's nicely done. So the order changes again. 3 different manufacturers dominate the top 10. The best of the Bimmers. Dale Sharp, very loyal to that Bimmer at the best of times. in 12th place. Then the best of the Astons so far is Ash Stacey, also true to the manufacturer, in 15th. And the best of the McLarens is Tom Pritchard in 19th. There on your screen at the moment. So good to see all 6 manufacturers represented in the first outing of the season. 3 Porsches, 4 Mustangs, 3 Mercs in the 10, and off goes Stephen Bull. Hello, Kurt Normanson. Good day to you tuning in, buddy. Happy New Year to you. Actually, that's a good point, isn't it? There was discussion had a couple of weeks ago as Adam tries to make a move down there on the inside of Matt Bailey and makes it stick nicely done. Taylor Oates also wants a piece of that. Very happy with the 3 yellow cars in the top 10 at the moment. They're looking racy. Benny Snell, Ryan Jones, and also I think it was Taylor Oates, was it not?
Well, technically Taylor's just gold, but
yeah.
Close.
Same diff. I'll pay it. Have a look at that. Very nice.
Oh, Snelly's gone through the cut through.
Oh, Benny Snell, that's costly. He'll lose out. Bondi's gone to the lead. What? Oh, Craig Bond has managed to capitalise on the errors of Stephen Bull and Ben Snell, and he leads in Canada. Now finds himself under tremendous pressure from Bull. Jordan Malcolm back there in 3rd, and Ryan Jones is 4th. And it's tightly contested at the front. I was about to say, let's have a look at some replays firstly. This was Benny Snell straight on. Into the wall. Oh, wow. So he didn't actually go through the cut through. He's clouded the wall of champions. Too much speed into the corner and lucky not to do more damage to that race car. Fast repair coming his way as soon as the pit window opens, you would envisage. That was just ugly at turn 1 and 2 for Dave Oliver. It's always a tricky part of the racetrack, and on this occasion no different. And Dave Oliver on the tow rope. Michael Adams on replay as well. Oh. Straight through. That'll be a slowdown for him. Bondi back at the front. Might just have to lose the clock there at the moment, Adam Lavis, if you can do that for me. We're more than 24 seconds into this race. Bondi, unfortunately, that's going to be the problem with the replay file, ladies and gentlemen. We are calling it as live, so the commentary is live. The vision is obviously on relay from Thursday night, but there's little trip hazards that we come across, like the clock resetting, for instance. Bondi leads. Bull, Malcolm, Jones, Wood and Snell, the top 6 in Canada. Bailey, Lavis, Oakes and King, the top 10. Thank you. Adam Lavis has just saved me doing the mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing the calculator for me. Excellent, lovely. Hello to Grant Gilles on that note. The new intro is magnificent. Gilles is off enjoying retirement, and rightly so. But he was the one that coined the term that we still use to this day. So, listen to the Mustang, hard at work. Ryan Jones got by Jordan Malcolm on the inside behind that shot you can see there. That yellow car has just edged its way ahead of Jordan Malcolm. And you've got 4 different teams in the top 4. 5, 6, 7 in the top 7, in fact. Make it 8 in the top 8. The first repeat is Reece Keane for DPR in 9th.
No, it's me.
Jones in the fastest time of the race. Actually, no, it is you. You're right. So you are right. They're in
because
in 8th. Yes.
Woody's
so
actually
7 in the top 7.
Yeah, Woody's actually qualifying well for some reason, so we don't know what's going on there.
No, that's a fair point. Bondi. So, Craig Bond Racing, Rapid Team Rennsport, Simrigs DPR, Riot Sim Racing, Aussie Races, VDR Team Milo. That's an interesting one. That's a new one, actually. Summit Sim Sport and Orbit Drop Bear. 8 different teams in the top 10 at the moment, 7 in the top 7. The 2 repeats are Aussie Races and DPR. Uh-oh. Andrew Franklin's dropped 2 wheels up the road, dropped 2 spots, and dropped down behind Shane Beaumont and Wayne Losh as a result. Bondi leads. Stephen Bull the second, Ryan Jones is third. I want to go back to the point I was making with Kurt Nommensen. I used the term Happy New Year. Someone I think it was the Today Show or one of those outlets that put it to the audience. How far into January, how far into the new year do you stop saying Happy New Year to people? For me, it's a case of, well, the first time I see them, Adam, I say it once and that's it. Haven't spoken to Kurt Robinson this year, which is why I shouted out in his general direction a few moments ago. But at least it's, at least it's polite, at least it's courteous. Bond, Bull, Jones, Malcolm. We picked up Taylor Oakes. But yeah, it's an interesting talking point because you just generally don't think of it. It's a purpose of, as you get into the year, it's just like a knee-jerk sort of, oh, hang on, I haven't seen you since last year. Hope you're well, Happy New Year.
So downside to Bradbury's nice chrome livery is it's quite easy to see when he's going to live a bit of a fender bender in the front of his car, not looking too healthy.
Caught up in that garbage on the opening lap, I think we'll find. Fastest on the race belongs to Matt Bailey for Summit SimSport 142.920. It's always an interesting one when we go to the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, because it throws up terrific racing. Particularly in open wheelers, but tonight we're getting a cracker in the GT4s. And we're not complaining about that either. There's Stephen Bull on the inside of Bondi. Bondi lets him go. Smart. And around the outside, Ryan Jones wants to weigh in and take advantage of that and capitalise on Bond's poor run off the right-hander, but he wasn't able to do that because then Jones has had to come across and defend Malcolm. 3 wide to the hairpin. Jones down the inside. Malcolm tried to close the door. Paul Wood got a little bit of help on the exit from Matt Bailey, who's now going to go side by side with him in drag race down the Casino Straight. And this top 8 is just bunched up. It's an absolute cracker. Hope you're enjoying it. So far, so good. We're about, what are we, 5 laps in. And even my SDK timing clock has now crapped itself. So we're just going to run with this and say it's like 6 of 23 now. At 1:40 a lap, we're beyond the 8-minute mark of the race. We're into the 9th minute of play. Dave Oliver, no tow, stayed out on track, just contemplating throwing the keyboard out the window. Fair call, especially when you're 23 seconds down the road at the moment, mate. Hello to you, good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your long weekend. Great to have you tuning in. There he is, very lonely, very lonely. So just repeating, this race and 3 more in our broadcast. Then there'll be a replay file of Friday Night Motorsport going live on our YouTube channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. And that will just be what we hope will be a direct copy and paste of the audio and everything else from last night, but dragged over to its appropriate home. Bull, Bond, Jones, Malcolm, and Wood under pressure from Bailey again here. Matt Bailey on a mission here in the early stages to the outside of Paul Wood. Looking to get the run off the right-hander off the hairpin. It won't work for him. Wood will come back across and Bailey will have to reset up and go again in the drag race. Down the Casino Straight here. The Ile Notre Dame, the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal, Canada. So
on that previous chicane, Stephen Bull wants to go slow down. He's falling back here.
Good pickup. Stephen Bull back into 5th place as a result of all of that. So Jones and Malcolm have now got a shot at Bond, and so too does Bailey. And Jones punches out the fastest lap of the race. Which you can see on the totem pole there in purple. Down the inside, oh, that's tight. That's anti. Stephen Bull, Ben Snell, Paul Wood. It was Snell on the inside, 4th for Long Wood and got through. Back into 6th. The recovery mission continues. How close, a little bit too close for comfort, are they running to that wall on the exit of what is turn 4? So they go through 5, 6, that's 7, now 8. Then they'll navigate their way through 9 and 10. down at the end of the back straight here. And then it's open throttle again down to the big braking marker for the hairpin. And then it's another open throttle one, and then another big braking zone going into the chicane that takes us to the main straight past the Wall of Champions. Oh, trouble. Eduardo Zamora. And he's got Ash Stacey for company. A couple of cars just going to the left-hand side taking evasive action. Brian Levitt finds himself in pit lane, and so too does Andrew Franklin. Oh. Kurt Nommensen not happy about the slot. Nobody is. But the one thing we know is that the circuit doesn't discriminate. Everybody's in the same boat. But yes, the slowdowns here are particularly noticeable compared to other racetracks. So Nommensen in 13th now. Beaumont there for company. Wayne Losh is the other member of the party, of the trio down the Casino Straight. Lap 7 for you. Bondi's leading it by half a second over Jones and Malcolm. Bailey, Bull and Snell. Around the grounds for you very shortly. To pit lane goes Kurt Nommensen. Ash Stacey also in after getting caught up in that argy-bargy with Eduardo Zamora. And now down the inside, Beaumont. No, not yet. Dave Oliver and Mark Paul himself up in 19th place. Justin Kehir and Pete Madsen both yet to stop. Brian Levitt has stopped, so too Andrew Franklin, so too Eduardo Zamora. Zamora into retirement, it would seem. Remembering that Haycock, Colbreth and Leach were non-starters in all of this. Porsche Cup racing from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, still to come. Reliably informed that the open field there is enormous. Packed the house. So we'll bring you up to speed with what that's looking like after we go to the Pro Speed Pro, of course. Again, we'll have a situation in place whereby Thursday Night Motorsport will be spent switching between the open and the elite splits, just so that now that they're no longer an all-in grid, they'll each get their fair share of coverage in a not dissimilar way to what we do with here's Ryan Jones with a slowdown. Ryan Jones with a slowdown. That's going to cost him 2 spots at least. And there's Benny Snell on the outside of Jordan Malcolm. Kurt makes another good point. Plenty of work's gone in the off-season. Greg Heaney was detailing it to me on Thursday night, actually, the amount of work he put into all the new and improved Whiskey Business Racing liveries. Same goes for everybody else. Detail, as always, to be admired and applauded. Certainly stands out. Good to see so many new liveries. And in your case, Adam Lavis, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, it's I think the subtle change with the Porsche. Obviously, a new car, slightly different. Just a couple of a little bit different, but yeah, basically same concept and outlook as Woodsy's coming across. I think he's had a play trying to find something different, but he ends up keep going back to the similar thing. He can't quite find something that fits our sort of our needs for the team.
That's fair. Reminder as well, ladies and gentlemen, that there will be a compulsory splash and dash, as you've already seen here. Some of those guys have been forced into an earlier stop due to damage. Some of these guys are just waiting for their moment to come in at that critical fuel number where they can pit comfortably, top up the tank and get home without coughing and spluttering. Bond, Bailey. Bailey, 1.6 in arrears at the moment. Bondi controlling this race very nicely. Oh, no, trouble! Trouble. Justin Kehir. Pete Madsen. So there are 4 Aussie Racers entries out there on this racetrack at the moment. That was the 4th of them, Pete Madsen. And I just wanted to have a look beyond that. Obviously, the tell is that they're all in different manufacturers. Addo's in the Porsche, Sharpie's in the Bimmer. You've gone for the Mustang, and Lindsay, of course, for the Merc. 1:43.092 was the fastest lap of the race. Matt Bailey's just punched down to 1:42.7.
Yeah, so the Woods went up on the server. I said, "Oh, you give it up on the Mustang and gone back to the lounge chair?" He's all, "Yeah, I couldn't decide."
We love indecisiveness at this time of the year. The interesting thing for mine, Adam, we spoke about it on Monday night. Everyone went the Porsche because it was so, friendly for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Porsche goes in GT3 for the remaining 9 weeks now that Daytona has been run and won. I think there'll be a lot of people happy to see the back of the Porsche in 9 weeks' time. We certainly will be, because then we'll have 2 definitive, series. We won't have 2 Porsche Cups. We'll have a GT3 series where there's more than one manufacturer primarily on the grid. But and we'll have this Porsche Cup on a Thursday night.
We saw that many Porsches were in the Pro Split on Monday. When I did the results, though, I think the percentage is even higher in Pro. But the M Split has a bit more of an even mix, though. So at least the M guys are shaking it up.
Yeah, as it always does. That's good to see. So it's a Saturday afternoon special for you on the platforms of the GSRC. Let's go around the grounds before we get to a point where we're going to have all eyes on pit road. And Rod-Laver Arena is where I want to take you, ladies and gentlemen, for the Australian Open. It's been a big day there so far. Yannick Sinner has won the 3rd set 6-4, so it's 2 sets to 1. 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, and he will receive first in the 4th set. 3 wide here at the Ile Notre Dame. Stephen Bull, Ryan Jones, they pounced on Matt Bailey. Jones is going to second. And all the meanwhile, this is allowing Craig Bond the opportunity to give himself a buffer at the front end of town. The margin's out beyond 2 seconds for Bondi. Is this the coming-of-age drive we've been waiting for Bondi? With no weather assistance whatsoever. Magnificent. Bradbury and Oliver to pit lane. And going back to the Australian Open update for you, Benny Shelton's on court at the moment, 4-all in the first set in his match with Vacherot, the number 30 seed. And also over on John Cain Arena, the Mertens and Martin Kova match is about to get underway after a 5-setter started the day over there. Massetti getting the better of Matt 6-2 in the 5th. So it was 5-7, 6-4, 6-2, 5-7 and 6-2, 4 hours and 27 minutes. So there's still 3 games to come today on John Cain Arena. There will be 2 more games to come on Margaret Court Arena once this one between Benny Shelton with Benny Shelton, I should say, featuring is done. And of course, there's still 2 matches to come tonight on Rod-Laver Arena as well. But Yannick Sinner's now into the 4th set there. So with the heat rule in play and some of the outside courts now not in action because the heat... Oh, no! Big cloud of the wall for Matt Bailey as Paul Wood comes to pit lane. That is going to hurt Bailey for a little bit, I think. You can see him just having a little dabble at the steering wheel there to see what sort of damage that's done. That was a big hit on the wall of champions for Bailey. Lucky not to come undone. Paul Wood down to pit road in 10th spot. Bonnie leads. The margin's been slashed. It's now only 1.1. Pit stops are going to be so vitally important to keep an eye on here, because they're going to be such a telling part of this race. We're at half race distance. This is lap 12 of 23. We're 11 and a half laps in. Bond, Jones, Bull, Bailey, Malcolm and Lavis, the top 6 in Canada. Keane, Snell, Oates and Losh, the top 10. But yeah, with the heat rule now activated, play on the outside courts at the Australian Open has been suspended for the moment. I wouldn't mind betting that if there's the potential, the opportunity to do so, with a big enough gap in play, they might have to shuffle a couple of those matches inside in order to not give themselves a backlog either into the early hours of tomorrow morning, late tonight, or of course even tomorrow. But we'll keep you across that as the afternoon rolls on. But the good thing is we've got three courts in which play can continue on because of the fact that they've got a roof, so they can play indoors. The air conditioners are blasting, getting a So the end of lap 12 here. Bond the leader. Have a look at Jonesy. Jonesy's really come of age, hasn't he? I mean, we always knew him as a good sim racing commentator, but he's really starting to excel as a driver, and a versatile one at that as well.
I was about to say, your 2-second lead for Bondi's very much to speed.
On. Yep. And that's nothing more than, like, take nothing away from Bondi. Like, he's done well to lead to this point. That is just the benefit of clear air for Jonesy. With the pressure off, him able to focus on just reeling Bond in, he's taken half a second out of him the last 2 laps. So this is on, in earnest, right here. Ford versus Porsche.
What's a bit weird? Freaking it's giving you laps that haven't happened yet.
Yeah. There you go.
Magic words today. Think in the future.
I love it. The joys of a delayed broadcast. There's another trip hazard we've discovered. We'll have to keep making notes of this so that we know for future reference. And I get the feeling we might be doing a couple of replays here and there throughout the course of the season. So down the Casino Straight we go again. This has been a magnificent performance so far from Craig Bond, but it's been equally impressive from Ryan Jones, up 4 and 5 respectively, those two blokes. Through the Wall of Champions they go. Back on the main straight. Stephen Bull on the comeback trail. Matt Bailey persevering with a little bit of damage we suspect. Reese Keenan, Taylor Oates go to pit lane. Malcolm Lavis and Sneller 5, 6 and 7 also yet to stop. In fact, on that subject, top 7 plus Wayne Losh, Shane Beaumont, Hilton Booth and JD Dent yet to stop, so too Justin Kahir. Pete Matson's been on pit road for 2.5 minutes, so I don't think he's coming back out onto the track in a real hurry. Maddo's Knight might be running 1 and done. There's Paul Wood coming back through. First of those to have stopped is Paul Wood, although he's just been leaped. That was Reese Keane rejoining very nicely just ahead of Woodsy. So Keane's come out for DPR racing in 10th and kept Wood out of the top 10 for the moment. Once the order corrects itself though, I think he'll find his way back in quite comfortably because Wayne Losh and Shane Bowman also yet to stop only a couple of seconds up the road. Now it's spicing up at the front. Mustang, Porsche, Mustang, Porsche, Porsche, Mustang. Ryan Jones to the inside, locks it up too deep. Goodbye. Contact with Bond. Stephen Bull goes through. Bull leads in Canada. 2 for the price of 1. Thanks very much for coming. Patience is a virtue. And now Jones with the acceleration down the Casino Straight here. Have a look at this. Jones might be about to go back to the lead. Bull's there on the inside. Jones goes deep under brakes. And that might be the benefit of the Porsche. For everybody to see. Across the line we go again. Jones leads. Bull and Bond. I'm not sure Bondi will be too pleased with the forcefulness from Ryan Jones, but it was clean and he got the job done. Rubbington's racing, as they say. 9 laps to go. I find myself doing mental arithmetic all afternoon here because the clock's still wrong. So I'm always looking at the lap chart thinking, where are we up to? I know it's 23, we're on 15, so that's this and 8 to go, 9 to go. Is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. And Ryan Jones for simrigs.com DPR and iRacing, it would seem. Have a look at the iRacing logo taking pride of place on the roof at the moment. Very nicely done. This Australia Day long weekend. We'll be back with you at the end of that, ladies and gentlemen. Monday night, 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. And the second round of Super Formula Lights, which will be equally as enjoyable as the first, I would think, considering the venue and the format. More on that a little bit later. So Jones, Bull, Bond, Bailey and Lavis the top 5. Snelly back in 6th. Jordan Malcolm has been to pit lane and rejoined in 7th. Well clear of Reece Keane and Paul Wood. 5 seconds in fact. Big advantage for Jordan Malcolm at the moment, and maybe the clear air will work to his favour as well. To the right, to the left. Oh, not clean off that ripple strip on the run through 14, and Stephen Bull's going to take full advantage of that. To the inside he goes, to the lead he goes. Here's Bond as well. Oh, he nearly got into the rear of Ryan Jones there. Bailey's not out of this without a chance either. 1:16. In comes Lavis, in comes Losh. Keenan Beaumont there, 9 and 10. So Taylor Oakes has now got himself back into 11th spot at the expense of Wayne Losh. Losh and Booth on pit road. Beaumont still to come in. So that's good news for Taylor Oakes. He should get himself back into the top 10 there. That's a very long stop for Wayne Losh. I think Wayne Losh has been done by a slow down here. Stop and hold. Wayne Losh has been on pit road for half a minute. I think he's in a bit of trouble. That's going to drop him well down the order.
It looks like he's taking tyres.
Okay.
So he's left his tyres tick for that. But so 33-second stop isn't really a penalty. So it looks like he's penalised himself for taking some extra rubber.
Self-inflicted invoice. We love those. Not. Benny Shelton has taken the first set as well over Vacherot. 6 games to 4, and will serve the opening game of the second set. 41 minutes for that. Come on! That was a late decision from Ryan Jones. Will it be costly?
It's cost him at least one spot.
Bundy was sneaky, got up on the outside, got through. Well done.
Matt Bailey's managed to do an extra lap.
Bailey's got an extra lap out of the stint, but this is the critical lap for Bull, Bond, Jones and Snell. And Adam Lavis's man is just sitting there waiting. He's not aware that you've already been in and stopped Adam. He can go back to his spot. Jones is good. Jones is going to leapfrog everybody. Jones is going to leapfrog everybody except Stephen Bull. Bondi, unfortunately, has been left there.
Jordan Malcolm, though.
About a second and a half behind everybody. And the clear air has worked for Jordan Malcolm, who leads in Canada. On corrected order. 20 seconds is the buffer that Matt Bailey has to play with at the moment. I think for Bondi, the compromise there has been the fact that he's led from the front. He's dragged everybody along. He's burnt more fuel as a consequence. I wasn't so much worried about you nearly missing the corner, Jonesy. I was worried about you getting done from unsafe pit entry, and that would have added insult to injury. But no, well done. Bailey, Malcolm, Bull, Jones, and Bond, the top 5. So, however it ends, it's been impressive from all 4 of those men. And where does Matt Bailey return to in the grand scheme of things when he rejoins the race? When he comes in and completes his CPS, where does he mould back into this battle pack? What are odds on Shane Beaumont at the moment? JD Denton, Kurt Nommensen in behind him. And battle's continuing right around the place at the moment, which is good news for us because it gives us no shortage of talking points. Nommensen very close to the tail end of JD Dent there, looking to get the power down on the exit in the Mustang. Mustang v Porsche. That's a prominent theme right throughout this field at the moment, isn't it? Really prominent. Although, credit to the 3 Mercs, Wood, Snell and Oates, because they're still sitting there in the top 10 as well. In comes JD Dent. But the field not yet cleansed because Matt Bailey's managed to go on 18th lap. in this stint. Will that be to his detriment when he actually does stop, or is he up to tricks that we're not aware of? .3:38 Eastern Daylight Time. If you're just joining us now, you're seeing things. This is the Thursday night replay on a Saturday afternoon on the platform for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Saturday Arvo Motorsport. It's like I'm back on radio. Jonesy will know what that's all about. Back in the days where we did Series X3 out at Morgan Park. Matt Bailey into pit lane now. This is the critical moment of the race. These are the critical defining moments. Jordan Malcolm has come from the clouds for Riot Sim Racing, so there's a change in the off-season as well. A nice new paint scheme for Riot to be running with in that GT4. Bailey to pit lane to the Jacks. Still on the Jacks. Still leaving now. 9.35. He's going to drop to at least 4th. There he is. He's going to fade out just behind the top 3. And well clear of Bond, who's under pressure from Keane. Ravis and Wood, the two teammates, pushing one another along. Oh, if all the races are as entertaining as this, Adam, we're in for a treat this season. Wayne Washington, Pete Matson and Eduardo Zamora, the 4 retirements so far, still 22 running with 5 laps to go.
You know, during the race, it was one of the things me and Woodsy were saying. It was like, but we were surprised on 2 fronts. A, that the front of the field was so close for so long, and B, we were both in it.
So, we continue to keep our eyes peeled on this live battle for 5th. And mind you, that battle for 7th is a stone's throw away from making it a 4-way battle for 5th. If Lavis can find a way to latch on to Keane and Bond here, we've got a genuine fight on our hands. There's Keane. Pulling out. Poking the nose up on the inside. Letting Bond know he's there. Bondi's sitting there nicely. Position number 5. Car number 517. Beaumont off the road. Rollinson up into 14th as a result. Bondi on the brakes now. Smash over the ripple strips. Onto the main straight. They had the anchors on, now they got the throttle down. Keane's got the slow down. That will help Adam Wavis and Paul Wood. Goodbye, Reece Keane. Breathing space for Bondi, although not for long, because here comes Adam Wavis. A thrilling fight awaits. The 2 Aussie racer boys have firmly got themselves into the mix here in the battle for P5.
Oh, Dave's finally found a playing partner.
It's only taken 20 laps. Oh no, it's Oliver on the tail of Shane Beaumont now. Beaumont was off track a moment ago as well, so that would have been to the assistance of Oliver. Australian Open continues at Melbourne Park. Tomorrow morning, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the United States, you'll see it on NBC and Peacock. Everywhere else, it's on the IMSA website and the respective YouTube page. The Real World Rolex 24 from the Daytona International Speedway. We had the SimWorld equivalent last week. The Real World offering this weekend, 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning, and then the green flag at 5:45. To Kurt Nomson's point, and this will spoil it for everybody, what we're going to do, we're going to show you both Pro Split races and the feature from the Open. So both Pro Elite Split races, because we're in that server, and then because we've got the file for the Open Split, we will go and show you the Open Split race as well, the feature race from there. So you'll get 3 races out of the 4. You would normally, if this was a live broadcast, only get 1 from each server. But because when we do that, it's normally the earlier race from the Open Split. We're going to mix it up. We're going to show you both races from the Elite Split, and then stick around for a replay of the feature from the Open as well. full details with regards to championship points and the schedule and everything else still to come. And then a look ahead on the platforms of the GSRC as well. So a lot to look forward to there this afternoon. And I'm doing 4 races instead of the usual 3. So it's not a bad way to start the season. Nice to get the vocal cords back in check. Nice for the neighbours to be able to be disturbed in the afternoon hours as well, not when they're trying to sleep. 21 laps in, so only 2 to go this time by. And, oh no, here we go. Spaziri of the United States has 2 great points on Yannick Sinner right now. So you talk about matches going 5 sets today there at Melbourne Park. There could be a second one on the way. Kurt, don't worry, we'll show the results from the heat. We'll prop you up there. Disruptive Labs GT4 has been the first port of call for us this afternoon. So yeah, also of course this weekend, if you like your racing from across the ditch, Next Gen New Zealand continues this weekend as well. If you like your pedal power, South Australia hosting the final stages in Santos Tour Down Under tomorrow, and also the Pro Volvo League tonight as well. Shane Beaumont being passed there by Dave Oliver, who forces him a little bit too deep into the corner to get the job done. Very courteous driving there from Beaumont, and very aware, alert driving as well. Saw Oliver going deep and avoided a potential incident in the process. Beaumont back alongside, but the drag race is won by Oliver, the right-hander. 1.5 laps to go. Malcolm's being hounded by Bull. Bond's got company in the form of Lavis and Wood. Bailey Jones pretty much playing on their own at the moment. In the case of what might have been for Ryan Jones with the fastest lap of the race, the chance has gone begging to convert that into a race win. Biggest movers and shakers tonight. Jesus, not much to talk about here, is there? +5 is the biggest mover that, from what I can see on the screen here, Adam Lavis. You might be able to correct me if that's wrong. Reece Keane, +5. Shane Beaumont, +5. They're the 2 big movers in this race. Darn slowdowns, yes. It's always the slowdowns' fault, Jonesy. It's never the driver. White flag in the air this time round for Jordan Malcolm. And the job will be done on the Ile Notre Dame. That's Jones going by lap traffic. Here's Lavis trying to fend off Paul Wood. Paul Wood's got by Adam Lavis on the inside on the run to turn 1 at the start of the final lap. The teammates have traded places. Does that make it an unlucky P7 for you, Adam?
No, not too bad. I will say, like, it could be track specific, but the Mustang felt a little bit more comfortable this week than it did last season. So maybe there's been a little bit of an update. So hopefully that continues throughout the season, because it was a bit of a handful to get my head around last season. So yeah, see how we go for the next few races. Woodsy had pace on night. Woodsy had pace on night. I made a mistake and I wasn't going to force him out of it, so there you got the run.
Fair enough. A good gentleman like etiquette from you, and also teamwork from you as well, I guess.
Well, you know the thing is, I was struggling to catch Bondi, and then Woodsy gets by and he's straight back at Bondi by the end of the lap.
And there is Bondi. Under pressure, as you say.
I told him you should have told me sooner. You could have taken his boat up, both of you use.
Jordan Malcolm picked up a few wins in GT4 last term and is going to start the season on a winning note as well. Hopefully he'll have enough appearances to make a championship assault here, or make a play for it at least. Jordan Malcolm and Ryan Sim Racing, a very nice team, it would seem. First up in Term 1 of 2026, Malcolm wins at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, round 1 of Disruptive Labs GT4, Stephen Bull in for second, Matt Bailey in for third, Ryan Jones, Craig Bond and Paul Wood the top 6. Adam Lavis, Reese Keane, Ben Snell, Taylor Oakes and Michael Adams are going to make up the top 11 in all of that. We'll have a look at those results in just a tick. I want to quickly go in because GT4 last term, when we saw that Jordan Malcolm was in the house, of course Andrew Dyson was the dominant force of that championship last year, but in the final term at least. But Jordan Malcolm, when he was here in the Porsche, he was only here for, he had a DNF and a non-classified in 2 of the rounds that he was here. He had 4 rounds in which he did not race at all. When he was here, though, he picked up 3 race wins in 3 feature races, including round 10. So he's exactly picked up where he left off 7 weeks ago, albeit in a new colour scheme, albeit with a new team. But it's a winning combination, and it looks like it's going to be a good combination going forward. A good fit, Jordan Malcolm and Riot Sim Racing. But these 40-minute races seem to be his niche, because that's where he dominated when he was here last term. And if he's able to, I know his work commitments are probably going to derail it, but if he's able to make a play for it and able to get enough Thursday nights in the bank and bag results when he is here and not run into misfortune, he's on for a top 10 in this series. There's no doubt about that. He was 10th last term, and sure, he was 277 points off Andrew Dyson, but that was only on 4 solid results. So the guy has got the credentials to be a GT4 champion going forward. He's just got to have the schedule line in his favour. He got the job done by half a second in the end. Good fight back from Stephen Bull. Matty Bailey in for third. Ryan Jones, Craig Bond, Paul Wood, Adam Lavis. They swapped around. Bondi, after leading early, finished 8.9 seconds in arrears of Jordan Malcolm. So again, that strategic play by Malcolm to put himself down pit road at the right time and get some clear air away from all the hoo-ha has paid dividends. Reese Keane, Ben Snell, Taylor Oakes made up the top 10. Adams, Bradbury, Sharp, Normanson, Oliver, Beaumont, Stacey, Levitt, Booth and Franklin rounded out the top 20. Back to JD Dent, and Justin Kahir was a lap down. We went 23 laps. We had 4 non-finishers and 3 non-starters. And that's the way that the cookie crumbled on the first night of school for the new year for Disruptive Labs GT4. And there are the point standings for you in GT4. Malcolm on 61, Bull on 56, Bailey 49 and Jones on 46. Bondi on 43 points, Paul Wood 41, Adam Lavis 39, Reese Keane 36, Ben Snell 35 and Taylor Oakes 33. Most positions gained went to Reese Keane with +5, and that... Oh, sorry, Shane Beaumont, I do apologise.
So Beaumont also finished with 5 on track, but then because of penalties, he got an extra one.
Oh, okay. Beaumont got... Okay, so that's one thing that we didn't see in the replay file. So who's been penalised and what for, please?
I assume maybe the Michael Adams one.
Copy.
So
there's the 3 of them. Righto. So Michael Adams, Ash Stacey and Brian Levitt. Yep, copy. So the ones in red on your screen there down on the bottom right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, they're the 3 that have been penalised. So Adams, Stacey and Levitt. Stacey we saw in an incident as well. Adams was turn 1, lap 1, was it not? And Brian Levitt also caught up in incident there. So there you have it. Very nicely done in Disruptive Labs GT4. The brand new campaign underway. Just recapping, if you're just joining us, you got a double whammy today. You got a triple treat because you got a GT4 replay. We're about to bring you 3 of the 4 races from the Porsches from Road Atlanta, Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. Then we're, of course, going to hand over to the boys from last night, Dan Yeaman and Liam Banks, to bring you all the action from GTE, and that was from the Silverstone circuit in England. As far as we're concerned with GT4, next week we're on track from the Long Beach circuit in California. Long Beach, California, the venue for the first of 4 sprint rounds in this campaign. That promises to be an absolute treat. Updating you on the Australian Open from Melbourne Park before we take a quick break and we load into the first of two Porsche servers. So yes, there's two intermissions today, ladies and gentlemen. So the Pro, Sprint and Feature coming up in just a moment. The Open Feature to follow that. We're here, of course, with thanks to the great people at Disruptive Labs, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com, Flash Graphics, and also Waste Options. So big thanks to all those great people for their ongoing support, involvement and input of the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. The Australian Open, Melbourne Park, we're suspended on the outside courts at the moment due to the heat rule. On the inside court, Yannick Sinner down 3-2 in the fourth set, but currently on serve and looking to level it up at 3-all. And of course, if he can win that set, he's through to the fourth round. Over on Margaret Court Arena, Benny Shelton 6-4 in the first set. It's currently 2-all in the second. Elise Mertens, the 21st seed from Belgium, 5-love on Barton Kova, the qualifier from the Czech Republic, in the first set. In just 19 minutes, she's ripping through that one and in a real hurry. And of course, all the other matches that are currently underway are on hold for the moment as we await the heat to die down a little bit. It is approaching 4 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock in New Zealand, 1 o'clock on the West Coast. We're taking a break. These are the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Saturday Omo Motorsport being served up for you in the form of GT4. We can tick that box. And soon, the Porsche Cup for the new season and the split format, Open and Elite, going it alone instead of being an all-in-one offering this term. We're off to Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta for sprint racing on the other side. Stay with us. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and our Saturday afternoon replay for you of Thursday night motorsport for what was night 4 of week 1 of term 1 of 2026. And this is our contribution to what is a marathon, a plethora of not just sport but also motorsport over the Australia Day long weekend for this year. And we now zero in and centre our attention on Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta in Braselton, Hall County in Georgia in the United States. The scene and setting for round 1 of the GSRC Porsche Cup for the new campaign. And there it is for you. Looking very, very picturesque, ladies and gentlemen. This is the brand new season of the GSRC Porsche Cup. This is going to be one heck of a contest. Sprint racing is the order of the day for what is a 16-race campaign. We know this circuit, we love it, we know it throws up terrific racing. Doesn't matter the format or the category, as long as there's a decent number of competitors in the field. The action here is usually red hot, and 37% humidity, cloudy conditions. A circuit that's just a smidgen over 4 kilometres or 2.5 miles. In the old scale. So, with that in mind, let's have a look at the lay of the land as far as the schedule is concerned for this Porsche Cup campaign. Have a look at that. Again, just 4 countries feature on this schedule. Think about all the countries in which iRacing has, real estate available to it, and we're only going to 4. 4 rounds in the United States, rounds 1, 4, 5 and 8. And of course 2 in Italy, they being the next 2 weeks. Then we've got 2 rounds in Germany, round 6 and 9. And rounds 7 and 10 will be in our own backyard. A lot of people very excited about the fact that we've got both the new venues available to us this term. As part of this schedule, the Adelaide Street Circuit in week 7, the Miami International Autodrome in week 8. But yes, Road Atlanta to kick us off, Monza and Imola, then the Daytona Road Course. It's featuring prominently this term, isn't it? Then Sebring, Nick Fodiatis will be nowhere to be seen that night. The Adelaide Street Circuit follows the Hockenheim Ring, of course. Back-to-back sprint racing there, weeks 6 and 7. Back-to-back sprint racing weeks 1 and 2. The Enduro of the term will be on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and of course the super sprint of the season will be how we finish the campaign, the term at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, which is always hell for leather. It always gets us up out of the seat and puts a little bit of strain on the old vocal cords. There's no doubt about that. So that is a very good schedule. This is a very good field, ladies and gentlemen. Hayden Smith, wearing the number 1, is in the house. Corey Lazarus is in the house. Aidan Luthwaite is in the house. Matty Dench is in the house. Marcus Watson is in the house. Have a look at the star power we've got here lining up for term 1 of the new Porsche Cup season. And of course, Jordan Malcolm, fresh out of a GT4 victory, is starting 13th on this grid as well. So Smith and Lazarus the front row, Luthwaite, Dench the second row, Watson and Blair. Willie Blair the third row. Well done. Matt Bailey, Alan Dawson, Andrew Dyson and Adam Hayne, the first 5 rows of the grid. Good to see Dyson, albeit not in GT4, but certainly lining up in the Porsche. Josh Fitt, Rodney Golan, then Jordan Malcolm, Marcus Cook, Stuart Ellis, Nick Wood make up the next few rows. Ryan Jones, Oscar Haynes, Simon Mesmo and Craig Bond round out the top 20. Bondy up in the pros, in the Porsches, nice. Andrew Neal, Luke Swan, Ben Pedersen, Eric Fenson, Dean Reddit and Sam Cullen. Now, there's a lot of non-starters in all of that. Andrew Neal appears to be the last of the starters in this field. So we're down to 21. But I guarantee you the open split is a lot more heavily stacked than that. Really off-camber sort of starting grid here at the Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, because if you're not in the first 4 or 5 rows, you're parked up on an angle around the corner and up the hill. Makes for a very awkward start. But we'll wait and see how it goes nonetheless. 12 laps for race 1, 19 for race 2. And the first of 16 for the campaign. A reminder that we will bring you both feature races. That's the Open and the Pro. The Open will follow the Pro. What's interesting too is this is the brand new Porsche 992 2.2 Cup car that you're seeing on your screens here, ladies and gentlemen. Launched on the iRacing server as part of the big... Hello, Kurt Nommenson again, weighing in the comment section. Often Racing Porsche Cup 2026 underway the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We will come back to what I was going to say in just a moment. Have a look at the grass being taken there on the inside on the run towards the first corner. Marcus Watson's got the better of Matty Dench off the start, and so too has Willie Blair. Hayden Smith leads us down the hill for the first time. There are just 21 cars on the grid, but it's quality over quantity as far as the elite split is concerned. The open split a lot more heavily stacked than that. And for the first time on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, we're seeing racing action. Returning wheels in anger in the Porsche 992 Cup car. Of course, it was the point of a lot of conjecture and opinion. It was divided at the end of last term, when it was announced that the new car would be part of the big patch update that came through at the end of the season from iRacing, and that it would basically take the place immediately of the 992.1. But everybody's in the same boat, wrapping their head around this new car.
Well, I can definitely say, like, with both the old two Porsches, I personally found they felt a bit numb in the sim, like you didn't really have as much sort of feedback and feel with what the car was doing. Not the case with this thing. This thing, definitely plenty of feel.
Absolutely. Across the line we go to turn one. Once more.
What you will probably see, though, is you'll probably see a lot of people trying to avoid the curbs as much as possible, because as much as this car handles great and feels good, it's got a little bit of a problem with the dampers at the moment, where curbs make it do a bit of a pogo stick effect, so it gets a bit of the bounces going on.
Copy that. Lap 2 at 12, Hayden Luthwaite for Whiskey Business Racing. And if you, like me, are still getting used to seeing Whiskey Business in the new colours, just know it's going to take a while to shake off that association of blue and yellow that the team has had attached to them for so many years. You're not alone, though, because we're all trying to still wrap our head around that one.
So Corey
Lazarus for the lead.
He's at the lead.
Righto. Now let's wait and see what the Hall of Famer can do with clear air. Uh-oh, Stewie Ellis off the road. Corey Lazarus leads, Hayden Smith second, Aidan Luthwaite, Marcus Watson, Matty Dench the top five, Willie Blair is in sixth, Ryan Jones on the grid but struggling down in 15th. Only qualified 17th. Remember, we've got an invert top 10 for that second race. Rich will shake the cage and throw the cat amongst the pigeons very nicely. Replay. Oh, that was Stuart Ellis. Getting a little bit of hip and shoulder there.
Also, it's done his
basically breaking the steering. Yep.
Oh, he's just going deep.
Bang. Oh, that hurt. So it was the double over. He went in deep and then got collected on the way through on the left-hand side. Racing incident, that one. Definitely a racing incident. Lap 3 of 12. Yannick Sinner has 2 match points as well. Sean Benici. Yeah, that's a good point, Project 36. No Ben Pedersen. That's a good point.
He was in the server, he just didn't take the start.
Correct. And the why of that is still to be determined. There's Matty Dench going along nicely at the moment. Oh, trouble. There we go. That's Willie Blair. Such a good qualifying effort from him. And now down, buried at the back of the field. Marcus Cook, Stuart Ellis on the tow rope on pit road. There's Matty Dench giving Aidan Luthwaite the hurry up down the back straight and getting helped along by Marcus Watson. 2 for the prize of 1 for Marcus. Why not? Oh, 3 wide, 3 in the back of the Menzies.
Still 3.
Cleanly through, and Luke Blake has managed to get Watson back inside to his dash, and then, oh, that was Luke Blake feeding Watson a little bit of turf. And still on again, there goes Watson! It had to happen eventually. The argy-bargy was tenfold. Oh, trouble. Alan Dawson now. So Porsches are still slipping and sliding all over the place, still doing Porsche things. And there's more bush bashing. Ryan Jones on that occasion. What the hell? This is madness. Madness on a Saturday afternoon. More locking of the brakes. That's John Malcolm! Backwards and into the wall. Oh, it was a beautiful initiation for him with Ryan Sim Racing and GT4. The same can't be said for the Porsche. The fairy tale start is over. Wowee. Bondi and all of that's got himself up into 11th spot. Now under pressure from Ryan Jones down the inside. Hop! A shoulder from Jones on Rodney Gollan. There goes Simon Massimo to the outside. And 3 wide again on the inside. Luke Swan. Oh no! Rodney Gollan! Putting backwards, striding down the hill. I'm not sure we're across all of this. There's so much going on. It's a good thing they've got 2 splits this turn. Azra Smith, Bailey Dyson rather. Payne, Ruthwaite, Fit, Jones and Swan. Nick Wood is 11th and Craig Bond has been relegated back to 12th. Jordan Malcolm still struggling to limp it back to pit lane. More than half a lap down now. This is madness. Absolute madness. Nick Wood sporting some new colours for Entropy. In the form of Komatsu. Good to see them on board. Oh no! Not a moment they'd like to see replayed, I think.
I think it's more they haven't got around to the paint shop yet.
That's a fair point too. Matt Bailey. Matt Bailey for Summit. Down the inside, got by Aidan Luthwaite for 5th. Was having a look at Andrew Dyson, couldn't get that done. Now we go back to Aidan Luthwaite under pressure from Adam Hayne for HCS again. A very different looking, distinctly different looking paint scheme there. Maybe a case if they haven't got to the paint shop yet either. That might happen between rounds. On the way to Italy next week, 6 of 12. Corey Lazarus, Hayden Smith, Matty Danch, Andrew Dyson, Matt Bailey, Aidan Luthwaite and Adam Hayne, the top 7. Luke Swan up 12 and Craig Bond and Andrew Neal up +9. The biggest movers so far. This is just insane stuff.
Yeah, laps 2 to 4, they just all blew up. Everyone was slipping and sliding and bumping and grinding, and sped a fair little bit. We've still got a few battle packs here.
Yeah, that was Adam Hayne putting 2 wheels in the dirt. Josh Fitt capitalises on that. He goes through. It's always the case with the Porsches. It's helter-skelter and rip-tear rush-bust from the outset. They ease into it momentarily, and then all bets are off. Now, Corey Lazarus leads by 1 second to Hayden Smith. Denchi is 3rd and 5 seconds back. So you got the Master and the Apprentice, 1st and 3rd. 2 absolute stalwarts of the Porsche caper, as far as our platforms are concerned. The 10-time champ, and Lazarus, who is just an unbackable favourite every time he's in the house these days. 7 of 12. Sean Bedici asked the question there a moment ago, obviously just tuning in over there in Alaska, and hello to you, mate, good evening, your time. It feels weird to be saying that, doesn't it? Normally we're saying good morning to you. But no, it is now a case of, with the 2 splits being split properly for this term, in recent years, the 2 splits have raced on the same racetrack in the same server. They've been split up manually by Adam Lavis. Oh no, there goes Simon Mesmo again. The rear end of that Porsche just not liking the right-hander there. Takes him towards the back straight.
I think
he might have got some help.
Yeah, I think Bear's doing a redress here.
So that's not ideal. There it is now. The redress from, that is Willie Blair. Good redress too. Costly, but good redress. Yannick Sinner's through in 4 sets 2 on Rod Laver Arena, ladies and gentlemen. So the defending champ in the box seat as we head into the second week at Melbourne Park starting tomorrow. Remember, still plenty of matches to come this afternoon and matches to resume as well once the heat has died down a little bit there in Victoria, in the sporting capital of Australia. Just to go back to Sean Medici's point, what you'll find is we'll try and break it up the same way that we do with GT3, mate. So obviously there are weeks in which we bring you, oh wow, that's a hairy ride, but he got away with it. Holy moly, Adam Hayne. You often see that we find we bring you coverage of GT4, 3 Pro Am and Am on any given week. We'll probably do the same with the with the Porsche GT3 Open and Elite splits. Today, because it is a replay, we have the capacity to bring you 3 of the 4 races. Adam and I could have brought you all 4, but we've also got to bring you GTE. So we're only going to bring you 3, and we're going to bring you the feature race from the Open split, not the sprint race. So the feature race over 27 minutes will be coming up, 19 laps, as soon as we're done with both races of the Pro split. Of course, they do run concurrently on a Thursday night. For our benefit this week, we will be able to go back and show you the Open split as it happened. And then, of course, there'll be some decisions made with regards to whether or not we can bring you Thursday Night Motorsport live through the remaining 9 weeks going forward, and if we can, what broadcast will focus on, what split the feature on any given week. Jordan Martin, the big road, has been there for a while. Stuart Ellison's parked up and done. Sochi Marcus Cook. Nick Wood showing off the road again, but he has got back on. Here's a chance on the inside. Luke Swan all over the back of Ryan Jones like a cheap swing at the moment. Wants to run down the back straight. Jones is sitting duck here. Luke Swan's got the run and the line. But you don't always necessarily want to be on the inside for the left-hander. You want to be on the inside for the right-hander. That's exactly where Swan's parked it. Beautifully done. Got the move done even before they got to the quarter. It didn't become an issue. That switchback potential or possibility. Yeah, I'm hearing you, Kurt. Work always ruins fun. Work always gets in the way. I'm feeling the same way next weekend when I'm in Canberra for the Dunlop Kartstar Series. I'm going to be on a flight back to Brisbane whilst the men's finals on at the Australian Open. I hate the fact that I'm going to have to watch that on delay. Although I live in Queensland, I should be used to watching stuff on delay, really. But yes, as soon as I land, I'll be getting to a screen in the airport near the bar, I'd say, and watching what I can of the tennis before I need to go and pick the car up and drive home. 3 laps to go. Clinical performance from Matty Dench.
How's this for a stat? We've got the previous 3 championships in the top 3 spots here.
I know. It's magnificent, isn't it? So Smith, Lazarus, and of course the 10-timer. And Smith, of course, played bridesmaid to Lazarus, who played bridesmaid to Dench. It aligns very nicely, doesn't it?
If
That's the one we're going on to the second last lap of the race.
If only Hayden was able to hold on to the lead a bit longer, it would have been in the perfect order. Absolutely, and he's going to work. He's going to have to work bloody hard, bloody tough work ahead of him to retain that number 1. Quite frankly, Dench, Dyson, Bailey lose weight. Fit, Hayne, Swan, and Jones, the top 10 there at the moment. And Lazarus and Smith
very comfortably the leaders of this race. Dyson's giving Dench a bit of a hurry up, and I'm excited about that because we know that Dyson's got pace and potential. Whether he can stay, that's Simon Mesmo having another off-track excursion, isn't it? No,
Bailey.
Matt Bailey. Matt Bailey. Different team, same sort of colour scheme. That green and white flavour. Bailey with a big spin, and it's cost him 3 or 4 spots there. Bondi's now found himself up into the top 10 as a result of that. Jones to 9th, Swan to 8th, Hayne to 7th. And 6th place is where you find Josh Fitt now as a result of that off-track skirmish for Matt Bailey. Aidan Lewthwaite is now a very lonely 5th in all of that. Andrew Dyson sits there in 4th place. And as I said, he's only second away from Matt Dench. So if he can latch on and go, that could be really exciting going forward to have a 4th genuine player at the front end of this field. So Lazarus, Smith, Dench, Dyson and Lewthwaite, the top 5, and we're on the last lap at Road Atlanta. Feature race still to come, open split feature race still to come as well. A big Saturday afternoon for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. In the Saturday evening will go. The final lap of the race. Nick Wood, Jordan Malcolm still on pit road. They'll look to restart from the back of the grid for the second race in a few moments' time. This battle on your screen is the battle for the invert pole. That's Craig Bond holding on to 10th at the moment. Can he retain that all the way to the checkered flag? We'll wait and see. It would give him the invert pole position.
What might call some of those guys out, with these guys now being their own split, they've got the same incident point system as the pro split in the GT3, so 0 fast repairs in the sprint races for these guys.
Oh yeah, fair call. Right, fair call. So there's plenty of change term on term, isn't there? Last turn, checkered flag. Corey Lazarus picks up where he left off as a race winner in the Porsche Cup with the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Hayden Smith in for second, Matty Dench third, Andrew Dyson in for fourth, Aidan Lewthwaite fifth. Dyson only missed out by 0.13 of a second on Matty Dench. Marcus Watson has come through and taken 10th spot. Now, how has that happened? More to the point. Oh, no. Oh, Bond and Dawson have come together, and Watson's got it down on the inside. Wowee. What on earth has happened here? Dawson went for the move on defensive. Oh, who's going to get slugged for that one? Is that going to be a racing incident, or did Bondi move, or did Dawson not have enough room? I don't know. We need a better look at that if you've got one for me, Adam. Let's have another look. Dawson, watch Dawson go to the inside. Watch. Oh, I think there was the slightest smidgen movement from Bond.
I think it's more Dawson's preempted in turning for the kink and it's just clipped the tyre. So it might be just a little bit self-inflicted.
Yeah. Wowee. And Watto has capitalised on that and taken the invert pole. What about that? Wow. Bond will be happy and disappointed with 11th because he gained 9 spots. He went from 20th on the grid. Lazarus gets the better of Smith, Dench, Dyson, Lewthwaite, Fitt and Hayne. Swan, Jones and Watson the top 10. Now, we need to obviously make a list and let everybody know what it looks like term on term with regards to change season on season. Obviously, there's changes to the car, to there being 2 splits instead of 1, and therefore 2 incident points and fast repairs and all that sort of stuff too. So a lot to try and wrap your head around, folks. But the big underwriting factor here is that Marcus Watson's taken invert pole position by virtue of the fact that he was able to gain 2 spots on the final lap in the final sector. What about that? Outside that, Dawson 12th, Bailey 13th, Golan, Blair, Mesmo, Neal, Wood, Malcolm and Cook, the top 20. Now, obviously, Malcolm and Cook were non-finishers in all of that. Wow. Don't know where to really start with the summations of all of that, trying to make sense of it. we've got about 30 seconds to try and catch our breath before they're lining up to go again, ladies and gentlemen. A reminder that we're here with thanks to Waste Options, Disruptive Labs, Trophy AI, as well as merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. The merch store. Would it be an appropriate Valentine's Day present? That's only a couple of weeks away. That's probably the next, gift expedition that we go on, isn't it? And then it's Easter, and then birthdays and Christmases and Mother's Days and Father's Days. But Valentine's Day is the next one, so maybe grab a stocking stuffer for Valentine's Day. Go to the merch store, gsrcmerch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com for all the GSRC-related paraphernalia, race.tgsrci.com if you want to get involved in what we do and how we go about it, and also get more information on what we're doing on what particular nights, where we're racing, when, why, and how, and when you can watch it on broadcast as well. Don't forget to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel too, ladies and gentlemen. Just search for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Marcus Watson and Ryan Jones, there's a hot front row for you. Luke Swan and Adam Hayne, the second row. Josh Fed, Aidan Luthwaite, the third. Then Andrew Dyson, Matty Dench, Hayden Smith, and Corey Lazarus from row 5. That rounds out a very, very stacked top 10. Craig Bond, Alan Dawson from 6, Matt Bailey, Rodney Gollan from 7, Willie Blair, Simon Mesmo from 8, Andrew Neal, Nick Wood from 9, Jordan Malcolm, Marcus Cook from 10. And we remind you that we've got a compulsory splash and dash component to this race coming up as well. Andrew Neal, Nick Wood were 17th and 18th. Jordan Malcolm makes up the field in 19th because no Marcus Cook, no Stuart Ellis, no Oscar Haynes, no Ben Pedersen, Eric Fenton, etc., etc., etc. We're away. 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide already down the main straight here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. In the grass, if you don't mind, was Andrew Dyson, I think, had 2 wheels in the dirt. Contact and gone! Oh no! Evasive action, no. Matty Dench involved off track. Adam Hayne, the one that was collected. He was the one that was sitting helplessly in the middle of the racetrack. Dench has dropped down the order to position number 15. Aidan Luthwaite dropped down to 10th. Simon Mesmo dropped 2 spots as well. Some big losers in all of that on the opening lap. Bondi's up into 9th. Up 2 spots. Matt Bailey up to 7th. Corey Lazarus up to 6th. Hayden Smith up to 5th. Let's have a look at the replay. Let's have a look at the garbage. The madness. Andrew Dyson. Watch this for a wild ride through the grass. But then who ran out of brakes here at turn 1 and got into the side? Adam Hayne. So that was the car in 3rd spot. I think it was Josh Fitt. I didn't get a good enough look at the car on the inside, but I think it was Fitt. That is unfortunate. Let's have a look from the viewpoint of Simon Mesmo now. The fact that he's just going to arrive on scene blind and collects Adam Hayne on the way through here. Everybody else is going to be able to weave left and right or to the grass or whatever, and watch Mesmo. 3, 2, 1, bang. Oh, dear oh dear. Cannot take a trick tonight, Simon Mesmo. Cannot take a trick. Watch it from the viewpoint of Matty Dench now. 4 wide ahead of him. No way of getting through that. Dench has to sit in helplessly. To the outside at 1 he goes, and immediately he's in trouble. Up the hill, taking evasive action through the grass, through the weeds. And that's going to come with a slowdown to be served upon rejoining the racetrack, you would think. And in the end, the invoice was already 6 positions. Jones, Fitt, Dyson, Smith. They flew right down the inside. Goes into position number 8 at the expense of Bond. Dawson's in there as well. What's going to be interesting for mine too, Adam Lavis, we saw it earlier in the week, our friends over at the Australian Sim Racing Group have announced that they're going to launch a Porsche Cup Series. We're hugely excited about that. Cannot wait to see how that plays out. In the same way that GT3 has been a training ground for the guys that ran GT Pro last year, I think the Porsche Cup will be the same, and it'll be also interesting to see how many of our members throw their hat into the ring to represent the GSRC on the ASRG stage. Wow, that's a wild ride. 3 of them with 2 wheels in the dirt as they came onto the main straight. Bond was one of them. Blair another. and Dawson a third. Marcus Watson showing at the moment in 19th position, but I think that's just a timing glitch for the moment. And I hope that'll correct itself in a moment's time. He is definitely the race leader. Yep, there you have it. There's Ryan Jones. There's Marcus Watson ahead of him. So it is a timing glitch for the moment. We'll sort that one out. Wow, not as frantic as the first race, but still hectic enough, Adam.
Well, the start was pretty hectic, but now these guys, now they'll start to bunch back up again here because they're still all within closer proximity to make something happen here. So, and we still have a lot of the guys in the top 10 in the reverse order, so they'll be looking to make some moves forward. But we all know how competitive this field is, so it's not going to be easy.
No, not at all. Down the main straight we go. There it is. There's your race order correcting on your screen at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. On our timing screen at least. So Watson's going to come through as the race leader in all of that, and everybody's going to filter in behind him very nicely at the end of the second lap. Corey Lazarus in sixth spot now.
And the question is, can Denchi do one of his magic tricks and pull a rabbit out of a hat here to get himself back up top three?
With a little bit of fuel save, yeah, quite possibly. Now, going around the grounds for him. Benny Shelton 6-4 over Vacheron also in the second set. So 2 sets to love. Ben Shelton 6-4, 6-4. And it's 2 all on serve in the third set. 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. That means there'll be some other sporting events getting underway very shortly, like the A-Leagues, the women's and the men's. We'll stay across that as best we can for you. We'll go around the grounds in the intermission between this race and also the open feature race, which we're going to bring you over 19 laps as well before we wrap up here. So stay with us, folks. We're here till almost 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, bringing you all the action of what is so far been a very captivating and compelling opening instalment of Thursday Night Motorsport for 2026. Watson the leader, but Lutherweight the fastest lap of the race. That's going to ebb and flow a little bit here as we go. Clear air will be king later in the race, as Jordan Malcolm illustrated to everybody in the GT4 affair at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Simon Mesmo remains on pit road, has been there for 2.5 minutes. I think he's got to cut his losses, poor old Simon. No fast repairs will do that to him. And as our, who was it in the first race? It was Stuart Ellis who found out the hard way in the first race. And also Oscar Haynes, I think it was the other retirement from that opening instalment. Dean Reddit, a non-starter. Sam Cullen, a non-starter. Marcus Cook, Ben Pedersen, Eric Benson, a long list of retirements or DNSs in this opening round of the season. Good move there. Josh Fitt jams one down on the inside of Corey Lazarus. Lazarus looks to return serve. And Hayden Smith has got himself up in a fourth spot as well. Matt Bailey on the bumper bar of Lazarus at the moment. Right in the thick of this contest. And Lazarus leads us up the hill again. This is what happened to Adam Hayne.
There's that pogo stick effect I was talking about.
Yeah, that car does not like that exit, does it? That left-hander, that ripple strip. And Adam Hayne finds himself on the tow rope and in pit lane. Nick Wood down the inside, got him. On Andrew Neal, clean move, cleanly done. Neal will look to return serve halfway up the main straight, but then yields and concedes. Marcus Watson, Ryan Jones, Andrew Dyson, Hayden Smith and Josh Fitt, the top 5 here. Oh, big moment for Fitt. Did well to get away with it, but he dropped 2 spots as a result. Lazarus and Bailey go through. And Andrew Dyson has gone to the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 18.122. Bondi down the inside.
It's actually Denchi trying to go on the outside of this.
And, oh, wow, and he'll get it done too because Bond was very sketchy on the exit. He's also lost out to Alan Dawson in amongst all of that. So Dawson with that smoother run off the corner, now getting the slipstream from Dench as well. So he's looking to go 2 for the price of 1. Dench has already got Bond. Bond's lost 2 spots. Dawson to the inside, but Dench is right where he wants to be for the exit. Got it. Well played. Dawson will try the other under. It's not going to work. This is Dench he's playing against at the moment. The 10-time Porsche champion. So we're in our third chapter really of the Porsche Cup. We're at the 991, now the 992.1, now the 992.2. We've gone up in instalments over the course of the last, this is our 7th year of competition on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We've watched the change, the evolution of this series over the course of time, and another new era. And a few chapters and verses to be written within it in 2026. So Watson leads on lap 6 and 13 to go at the line.
This is the 19th season of the GSRC Porsche Cup.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
Dench has over half, and Corey has another quarter.
Yeah. So Dench has got 10 and Corey's got 5.
Yeah. I think he's a 5 older. I mean,
4 or 5. Yeah. I'm now just curious. So that's 14 of 19. I'm now curious as to, because I know the Porsche Cup rested there for a little bit, but just how long it rested. Because I know GSRC GT3 is into its 24th season. It's been the mainstay. It hasn't taken a break.
Porsche Cup's had a couple of 1 or 2 season breaks, nothing substantial.
No. Got to go back through the archives and work that out. Because I know there was a time where we had Super Formula Light as the main course on a Thursday night instead of the Porsche Cup. And I think even GT4 enjoyed prime time there for a season as well. So it's been shared around a little bit, but where we're at the moment with GT3 on the Monday night, Porsche on the Thursday night, Supercar on the Wednesday night, it seems to be a comfy fit for everybody. Hayden Smith 1:17.993 went below the 18 marker. Sub 1:18s for the first time in this race through Hayden Smith on lap 6. Hayden Mesmo done for the night. Lazarus back around onto the main straight in 4th. M. Watson tuning in, 3 votes. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. Thanks for the mention on Instagram the other day in your story. Apologies for not seeing it until it was too late. I just saw this thing that said Marcus Watson has requested to send you a message. No idea that it was a story notification. But yes, good to have you on board, mate. They've all been approved for future reference now. And when I tidy up some loose ends on the Instagram front, I will follow that account as well, if I haven't already done so. Dyson, Jones, Smith, Lazarus, Bailey, Watson, Fit, Luke, Waite, Swan and Dent. Got to see Kurt Nommensen saying that he's going to commit to more Porsche Cup racing down the line. I'm going to be interested to gauge feedback on those that were opposed to the new car and just see where they sit with it now that they've had some time to get their head around the substantial changes like the ABS and the traction control. From your standpoint, Adam, you've driven both. What do you think?
Well, this week, the last 5 minutes of practice was the first time I actually got in the car. And as I said earlier, it's going to take a little bit to get used to, but it definitely has a lot more feel and you actually got to throw it around a lot more. So you actually it feels like you can really drive the car now rather than trying to finesse the car like you do with the old sort of one. So it's a bit more of a grab it by the scruff of the neck and throw it around type situation now.
Dyson up 6 spots as the leader of this race. 1:17.840 for Corey Lazarus, now the fastest lap of the race. Trouble at the back there. Josh Fitt off the road. It's very, very simple, Jonesy. We've only got 2 eyes each. So if we've missed a scrap for the lead, it's only because we've been watching the other battles that have been unfolding throughout the field. And as you can see, there are a few of them. That pogo is the only bad part, in my opinion, says Sean Benici. But it's going to be a while before we can shake that off. Let's have a look at what Jonesy was talking about here. Of course, he wanted to see it because he was involved. Jones to the inside of Watson, and Watson gets fed some grass, and down on the inside of all of that, then Jonesy finds himself behind Watson, and Dyson takes 2 for the price of 1 and takes the pair of them. Oh, wow. Replay me getting doored. Yes, we've just done that for you, Watto. You're welcome. More so for Jonesy's amusement, I dare say, than yours. Excellent. Excellent. The banter is rife on the opening day of the new term for our Porsche Cup participants. And that was Jordan Malcolm in the grass. So the heroics of GT4 not to be continued here or repeated here. But no, this is good, right? This is good. Willie Blair, unfortunately, that's not so good through the grass. This is really good. The fact that these guys, you know, opened at the sledging factor. That was Josh Fitt having an incident down at the bottom corner. But it's also a case of that all just fuels the narrative and fuels the talking points and the storylines and the interest for the rest of the season, for us, for these guys, for you guys watching on at home as well. We love it. And the fact that you guys aren't afraid to get your elbows out this early in the season, yeah, gloves are off. And that is going to be good fun for the rest of the term. If that sets the standard of what's to come, we're in for a treat this term with the Porsche Cup. Half race distance, Andrew Dyson, Hayden Smith, Ryan Jones, Corey Lazarus, Marcus Watts in the top 5. Dyson's out to the good of a second and a half. At this point in time. There he is, bottom of shot. Hayden Smith coming through second. Jones under pressure from Lazarus. No, not yet. Corey fed one down the inside. Just had a little bit of a look. Let Jonesy know that he was in the vicinity, but not in a position to complete the move just yet. Boys, what do you think, since we're having a chat here in the comments section, what do you think of the calendar? I know we've already got your thoughts on the cars and the hip and shoulder, but what do you think of the calendar? What are you most looking forward to? What are you apprehensive about? Jonesy, what rounds are you going to miss with work travel commitments? Let us know. Yes, Adam? Corey Lazarus getting by Ryan Jones, so getting the job done down the back straight there. That's the problem for me now. I've got 3 screens that I'm looking at, and I'm always not looking at the right one when the moments happen and arrive. Actually, I've got 4 screens because I've got the tennis on as well, but I've got timing, I've got our calendar and our stats and our data to the left, and smack bang in the middle now is our Discord feed. Luke Swan, Matt Bailey, Matty Dench. A little bit untidy through there. Come on, Jonesy. You've got plenty of time now to go and have a look at that calendar whilst you watch the replay. Hang on. What's happened here, please? Marcus Watson off the road. Let's have a look at this. That'll be that little bobble. Oh, we had to take evasive action because that was Corey Lazarus spinning around the wrong way. Wowee. Was it Lazarus? Yes, it was. Yeah. Have a look at this. They did well to miss him. And a rare slip-up for the 4-time champion. Jonesy, we'll show that calendar again at the end of the broadcast. Don't worry, mate. We'll look after it. Down the back straight, lap 11 and 19. When are you blokes coming to pit lane, please? Aidan Luthwaite, Willie Blair, Jordan Malcolm have already completed their stop. Rodney Golan has done the same. Simon Mesamo, Adam Hayne done for the night. Yep, there's some good racing to come. I mean, obviously Monza next week, Imola the week after, as far as the Porsche Cup is concerned. Beep, beep, FX, he touched the curb, RIP, I'll come back to these once they're fixed. And Watto's bounced off the wall, oh jeez. Monza in the Open Porsche Series will be great fun with such a large field. We're going to get to the Porsche feature from Road Atlanta as soon as we're done with this Pro Split feature. Good to have Joel and Hanson tuning in. In fact, also I think on the grid in that Open Split. I think everyone will be nervous about the first two chicanes at Monza. Kurt Nommensen worried about the big field in Adelaide. Don't worry, boys. The field will probably whittle down. And Adam will be going about trying to more evenly split the two fields up, I dare say, between this round and the next one.
Yeah, there's already as we'll see, there's a few people who are marked as TBC when we get to the Open Split who, in hindsight, have been promoted, but they weren't promoted yet during the race. And then, and also there will be a few extra of the guys who are already open, who were very fast this week. But obviously we can't promote them yet because allocations are frozen. But after next week, if they're still well outside the window, they may get an early promotion. Otherwise, after round 3, there'll be plenty of shuffling to try and even these numbers out.
Indeed. Hugely exciting to be back with you on Adelaide will always be death on the sim. Yeah, I agree with that, Watto. We saw the Open World Nationals there. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Good to see some pit lane activity. Matt Bailey, Luke Swan on pit road this time through the end of lap 12. We're on lap 13, folks, 7 to go. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and of course the Porsche Open Split feature to follow this. A field of 50 lining up there. We will not know where to look with that one. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Australian Open update coming your way at the top of the segment as well. Plus a look ahead to week 2 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Plus a replay from last night when we had the GTEs in action. So we'll be doing a driver switch, a driver change. Lavis and Caban out, Yeaman and Banks in for that one. And we look forward to having the boys steer you through that one on our YouTube channel. So Ryan Jones sitting there third at the moment. There's Jordan Malcolm in 16th. Now, the good news for Malcolm is he has stopped. The bad news is he's 41 seconds down the road. Marcus was in the pit lane that time through. Everybody else staying out and going on with it. It's a very, very big afternoon of sport. There's no doubt about that. The racing on 7. We've had the Santos Tour down under. The A-League's underway at the moment. Oh, trouble for Corey Lazarus again. Trouble for Corey Lazarus again from 5th place this time. The curb has crucified him once more. Oh, wow. So, again, no new machinery is perfect from the outset. There will be some teething gremlins with this one that iRacing will have to nut out, and no doubt fan feedback will be hitting their inbox at a rapid rate to help with that process. Nick Wood there in 7th, survival of the fittest at the moment. Only 19 starters for this one, but only 17 finishes it would look like at this point. 75% race distance will be lap 15, so you need to complete that to secure your championship points. Jones is within striking distance of Smith. Smith, Jones, Dench to pit lane this time through. These are the critical moments, particularly for Jonesy. He's going to try and leapfrog Smithy. Dench has got Bond, Fit and Wood chasing him into pit lane. Neil, Lazarus, Dawson also in. Everybody else has stopped with the exception of Andrew Dyson, who's going on for another lap. To the end of lap 15, he'll go. Now, already today, I don't mind telling you, ladies and gentlemen, in the Isuzu Ute A-League, Auckland FC and the Central Coast underway, and Auckland FC leading that one 2-1 at the moment, although it's just been levelled up in the 89th minute. The Central Coast Mariners 2-2. You can watch that one on Paramount Plus. Auckland FC and the Central Coast Mariners over there in New Zealand. 2-2 into injury time they go. Still a couple of matches to come from the women as well as the men today. Triple header for the men on this Australia Day long weekend. Brisbane and Adelaide about to start.
So far in the top 10, no surprise, Denchi has got the fastest stop, but surprisingly, it's only by 0.2 of a second. It's everyone was in the mid 6s to low 7-second stop range. Just Denchi was the lowest, but they're all basically the same. So no, apparently Denchi hasn't hauled out his roll cage yet to put the extra fuel in, so it's still a task to get done.
It's going to be a fascinating scrap for second though, isn't it? Have a look at this. Andrew Dyson's out in 5.73 seconds, but where is he on the pit lane in relation to everybody else? Oh, he's miles out in front. Andrew Dyson, the fuel save master, has done it again.
He's a half a second ahead of everybody, so he's done 5.7. Everyone else has done 6.5 or higher.
He did this in GT4 last season, remember? And it caught Jackson Rayhana off guard, along with the rest of us as well. But that is huge. That's enormous from Andrew Dyson. Vaults up the order and is just cruising his way to victory. Waltzing his way to victory lane in this opening Porsche race of the new campaign.
So you already had a decent lead because he was of that Jones and Watson battle we saw earlier on. He was the one who got through Scott clean and got a bit of a gap on those two as they were still recovering. So he's managed to actually extend that a little bit. But yeah, 4 seconds pretty healthy for this stage of the race.
Indeed. Oh boy, how exciting that we now have, as I said earlier,
Champs
4
getting beaten up.
genuine race-winning contenders, and Hayden Smith being muscled out by Ryan Jones, who goes to 4th. Smith back to 5th. Watson is 3rd, chasing Bailey. Can Bailey hold on for 2nd from 13th on the grid? What's happened to me little mate Bondi? He's stuck in 11th. He's just been wedged there from the outset. He's going to finish there.
He's in the middle of a conga line.
He's got his work cut out for him to hold on to it, though. He's got Josh Fitt on his clacker right now. Ryan Jones, friendly fire with his teammate. And that's Dan Smith. Oh, boys. Jordan Malcolm nearly lost the rear end. Down the outside comes Fitt. He gets by Bond. Malcolm deep under brakes to the right-hander. And Fitt forceful, gone. Oh, the hip and shoulder. Fitt and Malcolm are gone. The seas part for Bond. Malcolm's gone. Fitt's gone. Oh, can you believe this? That all got far too aggressive for anyone's liking when Fitt was trying to follow Malcolm through. Malcolm went a little bit wide on the exit of the first right-hander. Fitt's seen an opportunity to go down the inside, and Malcolm's come across to close the door shut, but it was too late. He was too late in achieving that, which is where the contact ensued. Jones has still got his work cut out for him with Smith. They've lost contact with Watson and Bailey. 2 laps to go. Oh, this is livened up quite nicely, Adam Lavis. I like this. And have a look at who's 6th. Look who's there. Matty Dench back in the mix with a lap and a half to go. Oh, this is madness. Again, just a touch, Kurt. I'll agree.
Yeah, so the top three match trick might be a little bit up. The top 5 still in the cards here for old Denchi.
So in all of that, Jordan Malcolm's dropped to 7th position, and Josh Fitt has dropped to 14th as a result of that incident. Drops them both out of the top 10. Bondi the beneficiary of that. So too Luke Swan. So too Willie Blair. Yeah, and there's a fine line, isn't there, Warner? There's those that are on your side of the fence and those that are on Kurt's side of the fence, and as commentators, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you when
Willie Blair holding everything outside here.
When the circumstance calls for it, when the time is right. Not sure that was the right time for it when you're battling from minor place. In the top 10! Oh no! Willie Blair! To Luke Swan, and Swan's day is done! Holy cow! And that all got started by, so Blair was brilliant for 99.95% of that. It was the final bit, that little rejoin off the curb. Watch this. You're right, Blair was brilliant around the outside. He was able to get the run because Swan wasn't clean off the second curb, off the right-hander. They've come around onto the main straight. That part's all fine. It's this part right there. Just as he runs out of curb and he tries to get back onto the racetrack. And Swan's trying to keep him out there. That's where that incident unfolded. And, I mean, Blair could have hung it out there on the grass a little bit longer. What do you do? So that's going to be an interesting one. Wild ride for Matty Dench!
And Smith's got past Jones as well, so they both went well.
And Gowan's dropped down to 16th as well. So it's all going off on the final lap. Dench is now under pressure from loose weight. Bailey in all of this has been able to hold off Watson. He looks good for second. He is the Summit Sim Sport racer. So at the front, Andrew Dyson, call 000, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's on fire. 2.5 seconds to the good. The 000 and DPR Racing. A magnificent night at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, and Dyson chalks up win number 1 of the campaign of the GSRC Porsche Cup. Bailey in for second, hold off Watson, well played. Smith is going to get the better of Jonesy, is he? Yes. Dench and Luke Wait, Blair, Bond and Wood. Bond gave Blair a bit of a run for his money in the end. Wood comes home in 10th, then Lazarus Dawson. Then Fit, Neil and Gowan. The 16 get us home. What the hell? Oh, jeez. If you're going to crash Nilo, may as well make it after the race. Oh dear. Owen, Swan, Malcolm, Mesmo, Hayne rounded out the field. Mesmo, Hayne, non-finishes in all of that. Malcolm ended up 16th, a minute and 5 off the pace. Swan was a lap down. Unbelievable. Wowee. 5.5 the winning margin. Bailey Watson in behind Dyson, Smith in for 4th, then Jones, Dench, Luthwaite, Blair, Bond and Wood the top 10. And crikey, if the old open split can be half as good as what the elite split was, we're in for an afternoon, aren't we? My goodness. We've been here for 2 hours already, ladies and gentlemen, and we're not done yet. That was awesome. In the end, only 0.8 of a second covered 4th and 7th. Blair a long way back after that incident with Luke Swan, who can feel a little bit hard done by, I think, but at the same time, yeah, Rubbing's racing, and I'll be interested to see how the stewards view that one, because it was the momentum, right? So Blair's on that curb, he's running out of curb, he's just jilted back onto the racetrack, he's just, you know, moved the car fractionally to the right, and bang. Kurt Nommensen just giving a running itinerary of the races that he's going to miss and the races he's going to be here for due to work. Oh dear. Now, Aidan Luthwaite's copped a penalty in that second race. I'm not sure 100% what for. There's also a few names that you can see there that's going to give away a little bit of a spoiler, unfortunately, with regards to what's coming up in the open split, because they're coming up in to the pro field. Now, as far as that incident for Willie Blair was concerned, he didn't get a penalty, so he's retained 7th in all of that, in that feature race. Luthwaite was the one that copped the penalty, so he's dropped down to 9th. Bondi will therefore move up into 8th, and everything else looks easy peasy, looks above board. Dyson, brilliant. Bailey second, Watson third, Luthwaite ninth, but Smith in for fourth and Jones in for fifth. All that remains unchanged. How good. Great racing. And again, 4, 5, maybe even 6 genuine race-winning contenders on any given week, on any given circuit in the GSRC Porsche Cup, and we're hugely excited about that. We're here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. If you want to get involved in what we do and how we go about it, race.tgsrci.com is where you need to go. If you want to buy some of the merch, it's merch.tgsrci.com. And if you want to jump on board as a sponsor of any one of our series, better get in contact with the crew via the race.tgsrci.com website too, ladies and gentlemen, because our sponsors list has shrunk a little bit over the off season. So we're always looking for new people to get involved and support what we do and how we go about it. Let's go around the grounds for you. Benny Shelton, 2 sets to love up on the 30th seed. Vachereau, 6-4, 6-4, 6-all in the third set, 2-1 the tiebreaker in Shelton's favour at the moment. Of course, if he can win the tiebreak, he wins the match and moves into the fourth round. Elise Merton, 6-love, 6-4 in an hour and 16 minutes, made very light work of Barton Cova. Stan Wawrinka coming up there from 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then Elena Rybakina after that. Wawrinka, of course, will be playing Taylor Fritz in a matter of moments over on John Cain Arena. The night session on Margaret Court Arena will be next up with Iga Swiatek in action, also Casper Ruud, so women's and men's singles action still to come there. Yannick Sinner got through in 4 sets, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4, and we're awaiting Novak Djokovic at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then, of course, Naomi Osaka against young Inglis of Australia, the qualifier in the biggest match of her career, no doubt about that. Play on the other courts at the moment remains, as far as I can see here, suspended until the heat dies down in Melbourne. So there's a lot of matches that are still to come, and they'll play as late into the night as is fathomable and is realistically possible. And then anything that's not played today, they'll carry over to tomorrow. The A-Leagues, just recapping that, the Auckland FC Central Coast match ended in a 2-all draw. Brisbane and Adelaide coming up now, and then Macarthur and Melbourne City to follow that. The A-League women, the Central Coast Mariners up against Western Sydney this afternoon. Perth Glory up against Melbourne City. Both those matches yet to start. The National Basketball League were underway this afternoon with South East Melbourne up against Cairns at 5:30 and Tasmania and Illawarra to follow that. And currently in the WNBL, if you don't mind, this match just wrapping up. The Adelaide Lightning up against the Geelong Venom, and the Adelaide Lightning have got the victory 85-78 by 7 points. No cricket to report on at the moment, of course. We're waiting for the Big Bash final tomorrow night and a few other things as well. But that's around the grounds as best as I can do it for you at this point in time, just to fill the gap as we now turn our attention to the Porsche Open Cup split. Adam Wavers is split, actually, it's fair to say. And,
I wouldn't get that far.
Oh, suffice to say, mate, a lot more traffic to contend with in this one.
Oh, there's traffic to be. Basically, I think I know a bit of a spoiler in the second race. I think there was a lot of the guys at the front. They wanted to do an undercut, but the conga line was 2/3, 3/4 of the track, so there was no way to come back out. So and the early stop wasn't really a good option.
Yeah, fair enough. I get that. Now, let's have a look at the lay of the land here. Same track, same settings, lock, stock, barrel. As you know, a little over 2.5 miles this circuit, and a smidgen under, I should say, at 4.06 kilometres. 24% humidity, 24 degrees the ambient, 27 on track, 6 kilometre an hour winds. Now, we've already run you through the calendar. It's the same down the line for both series. But what we haven't done is illustrate, or run you through, I should say, the qualifying and race 1 results for the open split, because remember, we're just going to bring you the feature race here. Richard King, Jeff Adams, Alex Barrelon, Aidan Schweikert, and Matt Avenel were the top 5 on the grid here after qualifying. Have a look at those margins. 0.033 between first and second, 0.080 between first and third, and in the end, top 19 covered by less than a second. Todd Suter, Derek Fitzgerald, Travis Hazapati, Reese Keane, and Matt Schmidtke made up the top 10. Good to see Schmidtke out there and not in the booth. That's why we're here today. Now, Riot Squad, Kurt Nollenton and a few others jumping in here to talk about the Porsche Cup Open feature race and the carnage that we're in for here. So a couple of spoiler alerts coming from the comments section already. Jeff Adams, who's been a very vast improved performer in the last 18 months or so, he was the victor in race 1 in the sprint race here over 12 laps. Again, same race lengths, etc. for the crew here, as was the case for the elite split. Alex Barrelon, Aidan Schweikert. Good to see Aidan back on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Matt Avenel, Todd Suter, Derek Fitzgerald, Reese Keane, who we saw earlier in GT4, Matt Schmidtke, John Akers, and Sean Benici, the top 10. So the hometown hero, as in the United States, not so much Atlanta and Alaska, they're worlds apart, but the hometown hero is going to lead us to green for this second race. Luke Brooker and Ben Goring, Greg Heaney, Adam Lavis, Kurt Normanson, Paul Wood, Brett Bradbury, Eduardo Zamora, Richard King, and Wade Sheedy made up the top 20.
So just before we go through the grid proper, I've just paused the replay to show you in race 1.
Jesus. Yep.
Where the grid went to.
Yes, please do. Let's have a look.
I said in order.
Oh, gee, have a look at this. All the way around. Oh, no. Round to the exit of the chicane. The second last quarter.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Jesus! And a couple of gaps in there as well, but they're still coming. That is ridiculous. We had 54 starters in that first race, it's important to note. 54. How many did we get for the second race? Let's find out. Let's accelerate our way through to the second race server, or at least this section of the server. Sean Benici, John Akers, front row, Matt Schmidtke, Reese Keane, second row, Derek Fitzgerald, Todd Suter, third row, Matt Avenel and Aidan Schweikert, the fourth row, and then Alex Barrelon and Jeff Adams make up the top 10. Luke Brooker, Ben Goran, Greg Heaney, Adam Lavis, Kurt Normanson, Paul Wood. Then we go back to Brett Bradbury, Eduardo Zamora, Richard King, and Wade Sheedy making up the top 20 on this grid. Row 11, Daniel Stone alongside Stephen Gallacher, David Baz alongside James Hardy on row 12. Joel Naughty on row 13 alongside Lee Peckham. Daniel Piper, Tim Nicol. Then, of course, Joel and Hansen, who we mentioned earlier, and Rick Cowling Fitzgerald make up the top 30. Row 16, Tristan Koch, Cameron Dakin, Jack Allisey, and Troy Mortensen from row 17. Colin Bennett, Edward Rollo, Brad Coates, Keel Cunningham, Nathan Harvey, and Dale Atkins on the row that takes us to the end of the top 40. Kelly McLaren, Paul Wilson from 21, from 22, Joel Janssens and Shabor McCurtain, row 23, James Denton and Jordan Dakin, row 24, Alan McDonald and Steve Harvey, row 25, Aaron Smith and Jason Wilkinson.
The note there is Paul Wilson, current Open champ, had a bit of a mare in the first race. Now he's got a lot of work to do in the second one.
Down the order. Holy hell. And they still come. JD Dent and Travis Hazapati are going to make up this field, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Vegeta hasn't taken to the grid yet. We'll wait and see if he does in 52nd. And then Brooklyn Bredden, Josh Fitt, Dean Reddit, of course, joined the wrong split. They were up in Pro. We did see them earlier. But Brooklyn Bredden and Alex Tzikis, we'll wait and see if he takes the grid as well. So there you have it. 50 plus. Lining up for the second heat. They will have a fast repair at their disposal. They will have a compulsory splash and dash down pit road. They will have 27 minutes or 19 laps ahead of them. Whichever comes first, away we go. Sean Benici off the line, makes a beautiful start. Gets to the inside, tries to defend Matt Schmidtke on the run to the first quarter, but have a look at John Akers. Around the outside. Akers goes deep to turn one and holds it through the first turn.
The leaders got to turn one before the last place got to the last corner.
That doesn't surprise me. Have a look at that for a sight. 50 plus Porsches. My goodness. Already the Joel and Hansen fan club is in the house. John Akers is the race leader. Luke King grabbed the popcorn and maybe even grab a second serving of it. This is going to be compulsory viewing for the next 27 minutes or so. Trouble on the opening lap for Daniel Stone and also for Dale Atkins. Benny Shelton's gone through in the third set tiebreaker 7-6 to win the set and win the match 3 sets to love and go through to the fourth round, the American. Well played. And have a look at this incident. Eduardo Zamora, just checked up. And then bang, see you later. Gone, cracked the wall, the tyres. Hansen and Jansen. That's not confusing at all, is it? So, Akers, Benetti, Schmidtke, Keane, Schweikert and Fitzgerald. Have a look at Fitzgerald. Down the inside. He's got Schweikert high up on the outside. Going around the outside, going to P5. Up 3 spots already, young Aiden Schweikert. Great to see him back. Still in sharp BIT colours for Tech 1. But still a force to be reckoned with on the platforms of the GSRC. I've been watching this kid since he was an infant. Since he was a primary school kid. Alex Barrelon. And on and off, I must say, Aiden's come and gone a couple of times from the platforms of the GSRC. School and real-world racing commitments and life in general, just getting in the road of him being a full-time regular. Main straight, can they keep it clean through the opening lap? They've done a pretty good job of it, let's be perfectly honest. Already Eduardo Zamora to pit lane. We had 52 starters, so no Brooklyn Bredden, no Luke Wegener, no Alex Tzikis. Brad Coates, Eduardo Zamora to pit road at the end of the opening lap. Howee. Catch your breath, everybody. That was fun. I've been sitting here having lime mix-up for the first 3 races. I might need a coffee before the end here. Just to mix it up. Let's have a look at this. This was Alan McDonald in 45th position.
Oh, it's much bigger actually.
Just, yeah, couldn't miss the carnage that was unfolding right in front of him, unfortunately.
The JD dent, just missed that braking point by a bit.
So easily done on the opening lap when everybody's checked up. Steve Harvey also caught up in that. Here's Sean Benetti in 2nd spot now. We go back to Alex Barrelon in 9th. On the left-hand side of your screen, folks, the numbers in white with the red background, they are newbies, essentially, or returning competitors to the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and to the Porsche Cup. And therefore, they are yet to be attributed to a particular split. Luke King just verifying the point that I was making right on cue. Actually, the Porsche leaders last season must have been flying to get them demoted. Yeah, exactly. Adam Lavis will make sense of all that for you in a moment. But for everybody else that's a viewer, numbers in the yellow with the black number or text and yellow plate, they are mainstay open split competitors or guys that have been demoted from the elite split to the open for the new season. There will be a process in which, here we go, off the track goes Kurt Nommensen, and no wonder he didn't want to see this replay. No wonder. Let's have a look at it again. On replay here, as the field sorts itself out. Nommensen just too deep under brakes to turn 1 and goes from 28 and outside the top 30, maybe even the top 40 at that particular point. Yep, down the order, he plummets. That's unlucky for him. But yes, I just wanted to verify, the guys in the red haven't yet been attributed to a split. But they will obviously get attributed to one in the next couple of days, Adam, if you haven't already done that already.
Well, spoiler alert, the guys in red, as this race happened, were new and hadn't been attributed, but they're the ones that got promoted. there was actually 24 total drivers who were actually TPC during the race. But
Wow.
the ones that were staying in open, I've already made open for the sake of the broadcast not being a higgledy-piggledy red and white McDonald's mess.
Fair call. So anyone that's still in red, that kind of gives you the hint, ladies and gentlemen, that they're enjoying themselves a promotion for next week up into the prime time, into the Bright Stars of the Elite Split. So that'll be good fun for us, and I'm sure for you as well. And to Luke King's point, I'm sure there was method to the madness as to why some of you guys that were elite have gone back to open as well.
Well, yeah, there was, like, with the system during the season, there's the cutoff point, and then there's the margin away from the cutoff point. So the people who are, like, out, like, but between seasons, the hard cut is the hard cut. So the people who are within that margin area probably get shifted around between the seasons, and so forth, and also the other way. There'll be a few people who were in open who are just a bit above their line, but they weren't above the cut, the margin line, so they were still racing in the open split, but they've now been promoted to race in the elite split for this current season. And but the thing is, though, it's a little bit different this season because of the fact that it's different. Even though it's the same basic car, given that it's got a full rebuild physics-wise in the sim, there are going to be some drivers who are about the same position, and others are going to go right up the order, and others are going to fall down the order, just depending on how the car suits them. So, as we can see, like for example, like Jeff Adams, obviously he's taken to this car like a duck to water. Same with Schmidtke, whereas they used to struggle a bit more in the previous model cars. So, we'll probably see a few of those guys get promoted over the course of the season as the reallocations come into play in a week or two.
By the way, Joel Naughty just had a bit of an off-track excursion as well. I saw his name vaulting down the leaderboard, and he's now on the tow rope on pit road. This is how it happened, and going, oh geez, trying to defend on the inside and got turned. The car was perfectly fine, driver frustrated, and on the tow rope he goes. So Nathan Harvey there in 31st now. If you're just joining us, we're just going beyond 5:15 Eastern Daylight Time, 7:15 in New Zealand, 2:15 in the West. This first day of the Australia Day long weekend for 2026, or 1914 if you're in our Queensland area. Sitting 112 years and 1 hour behind civilization at the moment. But that's okay. Down the back straight we go. Jeff Adams under pressure here, under assault, if you don't mind me saying so, from Alex Barrel on who goes through. Adams doesn't even force the issue on the inside at the bottom of the hill. Just tucks in and gets it behind Barrel on to defend Derek Fitzgerald and try and keep Todd Suter at bay as well. It's not in earnest here. Main straight again. Akers, Keane, Schweikert, Benici, Schmidtke, Barrel on, and Adams, Fitzgerald, Suter, Brooker, Goring, Heaney, King, Wood, Laver, Sheedy, Baz, making up the top 17 at the moment. Bradbury, Avenel, and Tim Nicol making up the top 20.
There's one thing the boys can't say is no one can say they've got no one to race with.
No, that's right. That's the beauty of this split, but it's also the beauty, I guess, of this racetrack as well, Adam. If everybody keeps it clean, it can be very hard to build a buffer.
Indeed, yeah. You've got this nice long back straight, and the other half of the track is a bit more of a follow session, but there's enough pace to, if you can get a nice flow, you can still get a bit of a slipstream and keep on tow. So it's one of those tracks where it invites you to stay close to the car ahead.
Here's Matt Schmidtke having a look on Sean Benici. This is for fourth. Schmidtke dives deep and gets it done. Akers, Keane, Schweikert, Schmidtke and Benici in top five now. 1:18.895 for Jeff Adams. The fastest lap of the race. We were talking about 17s in the elite split. Sub 19 seems to be the benchmark, the threshold for the hot shots of the open split. Lap 7 of 19. This is Kurt Nommensen. Oh dear. Replay again for all the wrong reasons, Kurt. And not for the first time today. Paul Wood. Woodsy. Round to the outside. That's all good. That's fine. Actually, that was a good move. I was a bit worried about that being a little bit too close for comfort. And one of those cars, one of those drivers, either Woodsy or Heaney, ended up in the grass. It didn't happen. Very good. Consolidated by Wood. Cleanly done. Conservative approach from both him and Greg Heaney at the moment, knowing that they need to keep it clean to get the pit stops to then stay in contention and then press on with it from there. 20 past 5, Eastern Daylight Time, just recapping. If you've been watching the tennis, Jeff Adams under pressure now, having just got past Alex Barrelon under pressure again, trying to defend and cover it off, unable to do so. Barrelon straight back down on the inside, overdriving in frustration in the feature, silly mistakes, yeah. And that's the thing, it usually, you do it instinctively without, really giving it too much thought. Kurt, once you're frustrated, that's it, you're ruined for the rest of the, very hard to get back to where you were from a mentality standpoint, from a thought process standpoint. It very quickly gets out of control after that.
And he's the one of the patient X is the early stop situation. Greg went for the early stop, and I'm not sure if he got a penalty or what, but yeah, he ended up totally having a bad. This basically was the end of his race for me because he just kept falling back. So something happened during his pit stop.
Indeed. Now he's been there, and Brett Bradbury as well. So it wasn't just Heaney, it was Bradbury too, because Bradbury followed Heaney in, and they've both been there for 38 seconds respectively. Monkey see, monkey do, maybe?
I assume they got caught out because recently iRacing moved the speed limit cone. It's now right at the start of the pit entrance.
That's what it was.
Yep. Yeah, rather than being down the extra pit lane.
Oh dear. Just bear with me, folks. I've walked about 5 metres away from my commentary position, the joys of having a wireless headset that I can move around with. Thankfully, nothing sinister happened whilst I was doing that. I just needed to top up the drink tank as we go here to lubricate the tonsils for what's left of this race. Not much in the way of a post-race show coming up because we'll just be wrapping up and getting out of here, folks. Driver interviews will recommence on Monday. That was Matt Schwicke, lucky to get away with it. On your screen there, and here's Paul Wilson on the comeback trail. Back up to 24th already. Good run from Paul. Schmidtke under all sorts of pressure there because he's got Barrelon just ahead of him. Fitzgerald Suter breathing down his neck. So Greg Heaney just confirming what you're saying there about the pit lane changes that are being made to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta.
Yeah, so current champs up 18 spots, but we've got Travis and Jordan Dakin up 25, so they're the ones that have gone for most positions gained so far. Although there is a slight, because most positions gained will be not including the guys in red, so there's be a little bit of a change to that, but it'll be pretty close to those guys who started way back because they started behind the guys in red anyway.
Yep. By the way, if you've been watching the tennis, you'll know that Andrei Rublev has been bundled out of the tournament yesterday, got eliminated in straight sets by an Argentinian, Kurt Nommensen. I know. He's trying to get down the inside of Dale Atkins, has tripped himself up instead. Here's another replay, Aaron Smith this time.
That's way too much curb.
Way too much curb, especially when we know that it's a trip-up point in the Porsches. We found that out in the pro split. And no change between the two servers. Here's David Baz around the outside of a very familiar-looking race car being driven by our good mate Adam Lavis. And now Adam under all sorts of pressure here as well because Ben Goring wants a piece of that and goes down his inside. So the floodgates have opened and now Adam's got a chance to contain them, but not without losing 2 spots in the process. Into pit lane comes Alex Barrelon, so too Cameron and Jordan Dakin. And we've already had pit stops for several competitors. And we've had a few retirements creep in as well. Brett Bradbury, Jason Wilkinson, Joel Naughty and Eduardo Zamora. Naughty's not out of the race yet, but can't be classified now that he's 5, nearly 6 laps down. No, we're not picking on Kurt. We just go where the incident alerts are, boys. Bad luck. I mean, it helps that Kurt is watching because he can ride along and watch his misfortune for a second time. But yes, even if he wasn't watching, we'd be showing it anyway. So John Akers continues to lead this race from Aidan Schreikert, Reece Keane and Sean Benici. The margin from Akers to Schreikert is 4.04 seconds. That's Travis has a party on screen. Now Edward Rollo. Rollo to the inside. Rollo to 23rd. Through he goes. Next target, Joel Hansen.
Oh, Travis with a sneaky move around the outside there.
Did it beautifully too. On Rick Cowling Fitzgerald. Sharply done. Swiftly done. Impressive.
New team to the club, the Yokozuki Works Racing.
I didn't realise we had a Japanese presence in the club now. There we go. Excellent. Yokozuki. There's a couple of new members, but there is one returning member, Siobhan McKernan, is part of their team. So, this is a new group of guys and girls joining us here in the Jets. Oh, someone in the background. Who's that? Troy Mortensen. Troy Mortensen. Let's have a look. Big slip up. Right there, curb again. Bang. Watch how
that's
ferocious that impact is, and it just bounces you straight back off the wall.
That's now a Beetle.
Yep. And the amount of momentum you're still carrying when you smash into the concrete contributes to how far back into the road you go. Rick's sitting there 27th at the moment. Paul Wood comes to pit lane. You're watching night 4 of week 1 action. And stay where you are because we're off to the GTE outing as soon as we're done here. Adam Lavis will bring you that one, care of Dan Yeaman and Liam Banks. That will be live in replay mode as live on our YouTube page as soon as we're done here. It will be a different link though.
It'll be like more of a simulcast.
Correct.
Or a syndicate, whatever they used to call it, yeah.
Yeah, simulcast, you're right, yeah, absolutely. Now, also for those of you that are playing along at home and you want to know what's going on tomorrow on Rod Laver Arena at Melbourne Park, I can confirm for you now that the 2 number 1 seeds, Arena Sabalenka and Carlos Alcaraz, will headline the day session. Alex de Minaur will be on the night session, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and Mira Andreeva will headline the second of the women's matches on centre court tomorrow. So there's a lot to look forward to tomorrow, day 8 of the Australian Open. Let's have a look at Alex Barrelon in the meantime. He's sitting there 22nd at the moment. Dale Atkins is 21st, and there's a swarm of would-be attackers lurking, looming large behind him right now.
Yeah, he's the first ones that have pitted. You see he's in the thick of things, and Woodsy's right behind him. He also pitted, but they've come out in some thick traffic.
And hip and shoulder here. Oh no, Richard King's been turned. Oh dear. Todd Suter, the one that got into him. That was for 5th on the racetrack at the time. Or 6th, I should say. Kelly McLaren for the Yokozuki Works Racing team. Great to see new names, great to see new teams popping up. The off-season has been a fruitful one for the club in terms of would-be contenders, competitors, members, teams. Oh, big shunt. Big shunt. Let's have a look at this. Siobhan McKernan's had a separate incident. The one behind that we want to have a look at. Was it Stephen Gallacher? We need to have another look at this. So McKernan's had a separate incident. And there for company. So there's another one further back behind that, Adam. I don't know who it was. Steve Harvey's first on scene here. Oh, no.
Stephen Trevor.
Wowee. That's unfortunate for Steve Harvey and...
Travis has a party.
Travis has a party, the Whiskey Business Racing entry. So, two separate two-car incidents on that lap through. Aidan Schweikert, Reece Keane and Jeff Adams remain 1, 2 and 3. John Akers and Sean Benici, after leading and playing second fiddle in this race for the most part for the first 14 laps, they now find themselves on pit road. Here comes Alex Barrelon now up into 17th. Benici, Akers, King, Lavis, Hardy, all to pit road. 5 laps to go after this one. Go for it, Adam.
So I say, where is Barrelon going to come out compared to Akers here? Akers is already out of lane.
Yeah.
So that traffic's really held him up.
That's an enormous win for John Akers. There's no doubt about that. I mean, as you said, at any point you make your way into pit lane on a racetrack this busy, you're always going to come back out into traffic. But timing is everything, and it was impeccable for John Akers there to rejoin in 10th place. Best place to anyone that's stopped so far, and by a good clip too. 5 seconds up the road on Benici. Barrelon's another couple of seconds back. It's a big win for John Akers.
So you can see here, there's the cone there. So it's much earlier than it used to be. Whereas it used to be all the way to there.
There, yeah, so about an extra 50 metres down the road. So, yeah, whether that's a safety thing or whether that's just, yeah,
so
change for the sake of change.
So this is the field cleansing round now, so let's see where's John Akers going to come out, because he was leading. Is he going to be able to retain?
So it's Reece Keane, Aidan Schweikert,
yes,
Jeff Adams, Matt Schmidt,
actually,
have a look at this. Have a look at Schweikert. Out to the front of the field. Everybody that stopped on that 14th lap, Aidan Schweikert's the big beneficiary. So up 7 spots already. Jeff Adams is up 6 spots. Alex Barrelon's up 3. Somebody's come unstuck.
Cheers, Barrelon.
That's Alex Barrelon, who's now dropped in behind this battle pack. So on lap 14 alone, like of the top 15, Ben Goring, Wade Sheedy, David Baz, Luke Brooker, Matt Schmidtke, Todd Suter, plus Reece Keane, Jeff Adams and Aidan Schweikert. 9 of the top 15 were on pit road that time through. That was a very busy lap on pit lane. Now the race is on. Derek Fitzgerald's there. Toe to toe with Alex Barrelon. Chasing Matt Schmidtke. Fending off Luke Brooker. Brooker, of course, with that livery that colour-wise resembles... Oh, Brooker's just fed Fitzgerald some grass. Off goes David Baz into the concrete. Got it loose on the exit of the right-hander at 10. And into the gravel he goes. Baz now on the tow rope and on pit road. Trouble mounting here. Paul Wood. Paul Wood trying to get into 10th by Derek Fitzgerald. Will do so. Can he? No. Now it's hip and shoulder. Fitzgerald riding the rebel strip. In behind them's Wade Sheedy. Paul Woods managed to hold on a 10th. Nicely done. But all of that, Schweikert's held off Akers and Keane. Schweikert's got the better of Akers and Keane here. And then Jeff Adams, Sean Benici. Bit of a gap between those two guys. And then that battle pack. Suter all the way down to Sheedy.
That's one hell of a hit.
Very good for David Baz. Massive hit. Steve Harvey with another slip and slide. Entering, oh no, not even that.
I think he's just some damage for something else.
Ran deep and parked it on approach to the back straight. Paul Wilson. Ricky Billings. So on pit lane at the moment, you got Trav Azzopardi, you got David Baz, Daniel Stone, Steve Harvey. Shooting down the inside, forceful, gets by Fitzgerald. Next target, Paul Wood. So at the moment, you've got a couple of guys that have passed the 75% race marker and a couple of guys that haven't, sitting on pit road. Azzopardi and Baz actually need to complete another lap, I think, to be okay on 75%. So I spoke too soon on that. Aaron Smith was off track there momentarily. Wade Sheedy under pressure from Fitzgerald still. They're okay for the moment. So it could be as many as 8 retirements in this race, which in a field of 52 is not too bad. That'll leave us with 44 on track. Alan McDonald, the last of those. Back straight, Kelly McLaren, 27th, chasing Dale Atkins. Just 3 laps to go here. And then a very long extended edition of Saturday Arvo Motorsport will be done for you. The platform for the GSRC. Well, my contribution to it at least. We've got men's singles action about to hit John Cain Arena as well at Melbourne Park, ladies and gentlemen. So this will be Stan Wawrinka and Taylor Fritz, the warm-up. And that will be the next match underway on what's a very big day there at the Australian Open court. Play on the outside court still suspended at the moment due to weather. John Akers under pressure here from Reece Keane. What about that from Reece Keane? Have a look at that too. Used the grass and all the curb and still kept it on the black stuff eventually. 2 laps to go. You can watch the Fritz Wawrinka match on Nine's main channel, folks. Meanwhile, 9 Gem has resorted to replays until play on the outside courts can resume when weather-wise it's safe to do so for all and sundry there at Melbourne Park. John Akers going along nicely here. Holding on to third. Will be ruling what might have been, considering that he led for the most part of the invert top 10 feature race here. Lap 18 of 19. Sean Benici still holding on to a top 5 finish at the moment. Todd Suter, Alex Barrel on Matt Schmicke, Luke Brooker and Paul Wood are a top 10. Final stages. Impressive drive from Matt Schmicke. Held on to his top 10 position that he got in race 1. Now there's a little bit of higgledy-piggledy stuff going on here. Round onto the main straight.
Feel that
White
traffic.
flag, yeah, one more time around. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oh, trouble. John Akers, let's go of a top 3 opportunity.
Oh, he was trying to move, didn't quite help.
He was trying to get by Reece Keane. It didn't work at all. Yeah, a bit hairy, the closing stages, because everywhere you look, there's still traffic, there's still trip hazards, there's still drivers trying to battle for position, but at the same time, they're also trying to get by lapped cars unimpeded. It's a very interesting stage of the race. Far more spread out than what the pro split was. Of course, that was to be expected with 51 of them. Here's Ben Goring, holding on to 13th, trying for 12. This is to get by John Akers. No, gone! The last lap. What a terrible time to run into an incident. Oh no, Adam Lavis hold onto it, son. Wow. Horrible time for that to all go belly up for a few of our would-be contenders in the top 20. But no mistakes from this bloke. Aidan Schweikert has put the field on notice. You'll see him in the pro split this Thursday night. Well done, Aidan Schweikert. Victory here at the Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. There goes Matt Schmidtke for a little bit of cross-country bush bash on the final lap. That'll cost him a couple of spots, you would imagine, with a slowdown. Now Adam Lavis has been turned around as well. Oh, it's all going to hell for the Aussie racers on the run to the checkered flag. Schweikert, Keane, Adams, Benici, Barrelon in for 5th, Suter in for 6th, Schmidtke, Wood, Sheedy and Fitzgerald the top 10. Brooker came home 11th, Richard King, John Akers, then Tim Nicol. Akers, what might have been, he let go a top 3 finish and finished down in 13th. Tim Nicol, Matt Avenel, Daniel Piper, Adam Lavis, Stephen Gallacher, Ben Goring unlucky, James Hardy, Cameron Dakin, Jack Allisey, Jordan Dakin, Paul Wilson and Nathan Harvey make up the point scorers. Then Dale Atkins, Kelly McLaren, Brad Coates, Edward Rollo, Rick Cowling, Fitzgerald, Tristan Kosh, Joel Hansen, Lee Peckham. Then Kurt Nomenton. Then Joel Janssens. Then Greg Heaney, Keel Cunningham, Colin Bennett, Troy Mortensen, James Denton, Siobhan McKernan, Aaron Smith and Alan McDonald all finished a lap down. JD Dent 2 laps down. And David Baz managed to scrape home at the end of 15 laps and will be classified. Everybody else, not so. 45 finishes in all of that. Travis Azzopardi, Daniel Stone, Steve Harvey, Brett Bradbury, Jason Wilkinson, Joel Nordy and Eduardo Zamora, the 52. What's interesting for mine and all that, Benici gets a top 4 on home turf. Barrelon recovered nicely, got into the top 5. Most positions gained, 23, I think, for Jordan Dakin. There's a couple of 18s, 14s, and 11s thrown in there as well. But 23 positions gained for Jordan Dakin from 46 to 23rd on the grid. So he's essentially halved it nicely, sliced it straight down the middle. Big losers in all of that. Well, yeah, minus 32 for Brett Bradbury, minus 34 for Eduardo Zamora. It just wasn't to be. But Schweikert, that was very impressive.
Yeah, so Schweikert and Reese, Sean and Alex, very good racers. But as we've discussed, so they've were new to the series and as such got promoted based on this race's results. And with the 2 split system as with GT3, if the split with the new people, if they get instant promoted, as far as the championship's concerned, they don't count towards the night. So for the actual championship side of things, it looks more like this.
At the end of the opening week of proceedings, Jeff Adams, no.
Yeah, so this would be the open results for the Open Cup classified guys.
So Jeff Adams, Todd Suter, Matt Schmidtke, Paul Wood, Wade Sheedy, Richard King, John Akers, Tim Nicol, Daniel Piper and Adam Lavis, the top 10. A bit of a hairy final lap for you.
Yeah, they're all sort of lots of. There was a couple, bump and run, bit of things. So that was all a bit sketchy, but still managed to get there in the end. But it was a bit scary. But managed to pull it through. So still, I didn't think it was top 10. So, but obviously, because I was like 16th or 17th or 18th or whatever on track, so we didn't realise how many people were going to go up. So it's one of those things. It's top 10 officially, but doesn't feel like one on the day. But it's still good to get the points.
Indeed it does, and they'll all come in valuably handy at the end of the season, I am sure. There's the lay of the land. That's what it means for points, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Adams, Todd Suter, then Matt Schmidtke, John Akers, Paul Wood, Wade Sheedy, Adam Lavis, Ben Goring, Stephen Gallacher, Richard King, Daniel Piper, the top 10. There are 11 names in there. There are ties for 7th and 10th at the moment. Tim Nicol, James Hardy, Greg Heaney and Kurt Nomenson just outside. So 4 names already promoted at least. How many more?
I think it was 8. There was 8 total in the split that got promoted this week, and I'm pretty sure there'll be more after next week, because there might be a couple extra new guys, but even a few of these open guys like Jeff and Matt and a couple other guys on the pace sheet, they're far enough up that they're probably going to be that far out of the margin that it's pretty much a done deal that I'll be promoting them after the next round. But I just got to give them at least 2 rounds to give them some sort of an average, because obviously one race isn't an average. At least you need at least 2 data points to form an average. So once we get round 2 in, people who are well outside will get promoted. Ones that are on the border, I'll give them to round 3. But then once round 3 hits, we go back to firm sort of promotions up and down.
Excellent. A lot to absorb there, ladies and gentlemen, but hopefully we're able to make sense of all of that. So, very frantic stuff in the Porsche Open Cup. Of course, the Elite Cup also producing 2 different winners in 2 races. So, some good racing there. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed that. It's not done yet, because very shortly you'll see a replay of GTE on our YouTube channel as well. Commentary and production on that one coming to you from Liam Banks and Daniel Yeaman. Well done to Aiden Schweikert. Great to see him back on the platforms of the GSRC promotion, buying himself a one-way ticket at the Pro Split. It'll be interesting to see how he handles that promotion up into Elite next week. Merch.tgsrci.com, gsrcmerch.myshopify.com. Doesn't matter which link you type into your search bar. It'll take you to the same place, ladies and gentlemen, the GSRC merch store. Plenty of great GSRC labelled paraphernalia to get your hands on there. And we look forward to you going and having a look there and browsing around and maybe collecting something to give back to the club. Support the club that supports you. Support the club that entertains you, anywhere up to 4 or 5 nights a week. A reminder of the Porsche schedule for you. Monza and Imola the next 2 weeks. Sprint racing at Monza, that'll be a treat. Then Imola, then the Daytona Road Course and Sebring for 40-minute races. Then we go sprint racing in Germany and on the Adelaide Street Circuit. Then we go back to 40-minute racing at the Miami International Autodrome. Then to the Nordschleife for a 1-hour affair. Then, of course, the Super Sprint Grand Finale from Phillip Island. We will bring you, if we're able to do so and we're live for all of those, we will bring you on the sprint weeks 1 race from each server as best as I can gauge it. And for the Super Sprint, it'll either be 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, but we'll end with the Pro Split as we always do. So there you have it. Some very good stuff there. Some really good racing. Some really good frantic entertainment. Some battles that have whet the appetite for what's ahead for the season. And a series that looks like it's going to be compulsory viewing once again. And a schedule that lends itself to good racing as well. Now, Silverstone Circuit. The venue for the GTE season opener. That is coming up next on our YouTube channel. So make a note of that. It'll be appointment viewing. Make sure you're here for it. Next week, they go to the GT circuit at the Bend. This is what the rest of it looks like. I don't know what they come up with regards to Mountain Men for tonight, but you might be able to elaborate if you know yet, Adam, what they're doing as far as Mountain Men's concerned.
It's going to be reviewing the wheel, so it depends if people are watching. But if people only watching the one broadcast, it won't matter. But yeah, so it's the Mercedes Formula 1 car.
Oh, nice. Mount Panorama for 32 laps of the Merc. Oh, nice. Very good stuff. Monday night, Wings and Slicks Super Formula Light coming to you from the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, better known as Motorsport in Canada. And that will be the first of sprint round racing as far as that series is concerned. That'll be must watch. That'll be awesome stuff. Edge your seat. 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you can join us for that. Adam and I will be here front and centre on Australia Day. We follow it up with 60 minutes of GT3 racing from the Pro Split from the Algarve International Circuit in Portimao, Portugal. Again, 8:45 Eastern Daylight Time, and hope you can join us for that. Tuesday night, our offering this term is the Downforce Legends from the Speed Circuit Med, so Speed Circuit Medium, I guess that means, from Circuit de Navarra, 2 sprint races there, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is non-broadcast, and it's followed by a trip around Watkins Glen in upstate New York in the GSRC Retro Formula 1 Championship. A sprint round there as well from 9:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Wednesday night, Thursday night, who knows what the hell's going on here. Wednesday night, we're hoping to be with you from the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya on the national configuration, and then on the historic configuration for the Legend cars, the Oz Legends Cup, and the Supercars for Trophy AI, respectively. And sprint racing for the Legends, 40 minutes for the Supers, 9 p.m. for the main course to get underway there for you, Eastern Daylight Time. Next week, we've been talking about it all day. GSRC Disruptive Labs GT4 from Long Beach, California, the first of the sprint rounds there in GT4, and looking forward to that immensely, 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Then we go on to the Monza circuit in Italy, the Temple of Speed, for the second consecutive sprint round of the Porsche Cup campaign. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is when we kick off there, and we hope to be back with you live for that one. I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, I would be too, actually, Kurt. Pretty happy with 15th. I think you'd be happy with anything, just survival in that second race. That was bedlam. It was peak hour traffic. It was magnificent viewing. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you from all the crew here. We do it with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com, flash graphics and waste options. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, get out and enjoy what's on the telly, what's on the sporting fields in and around your local area this weekend. Plenty to sink your teeth into, ladies and gentlemen. It's a huge weekend of sport. Australia Day on Monday. We end Australia Day with you. Our live Monday night motorsport public holiday style offering from 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time, and hope you can join us for that. So it's unfortunate because everyone's getting around the Triple J Hottest 100 today, and then everyone's going to be on the Terps on Monday, and Adam and I are going to turn up at work, so we'll be behaving ourselves and no doubt watching the tennis. But it's not just the tennis this weekend. The Big Bash final tomorrow night, Perth up against Sydney again. How many times have we said that for the final game of the BBL season? The final round of the Santos, final stage of the Santos Tour Down Under tomorrow as well in Adelaide on 7 May. The NFL playoffs on Monday morning to determine who will be playing in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks' time. You'll see them on 7 May from 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And of course, for motor racing fans, the big one is the Rolex 24 from Daytona Beach, Florida, and the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning, and race start at 5:45. Good luck to all and sundry competing there. Strong Aussie New Zealand brigade lining up as always. IndyCar, NASCAR stars combining with IMSA's best, and also some World Endurance car regulars as well. So all that to look forward to. We're done from here. Hope you enjoyed that. 3 hours of mouth-watering GSRC competition. Well done to all our race winners. Some scintillating stuff, both in the GT4s from the Circuit de Villeneuve, Montreal, Canada, and of course in the Porsche Cup here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. We'll look forward to your company again on Monday night, and stick around because that replay of Friday Night Motorsport will be on the YouTube channel, simulcasting very shortly. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, the tennis continues on 9 as well for the balance of the evening, as well as the A-Leagues and the NBL on 10, Paramount and ESPN and Disney respectively. So I hope I've covered enough in depth detail there for you. That was an unfortunate moment for a Riot Sim Racing entry. That's what happened. That's what happened to Paul Wilson. That explains why he was well back in the pack in the opening race. So why he had to work his way through, and did so very nicely actually, from 42nd on the grid. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Good to have Thursday Night Motorsport back, albeit on a Saturday afternoon, and we look forward to your company when week 2 gets underway on Monday night from 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. For the crew, the GSRC broadcast commentary and production team, I'm Zach Caban on behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, bidding you a very good afternoon and enjoy what's left of your Saturday and your Australia Day long weekend. Everybody have a great night. Bye for now.